Are we live? Is this live? Oh, it's live. Don't go breaking my heart. Let's play something. Oh my God, the music's gone. Is this live? Oh, it's live. Hold up. Hold up. Don't go breaking my heart. Let's play something. Hold up. Wow. So that's a good way to check the audio. Honestly, Zoom is so much better. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming. You are loved. God is great. A lot of rips, a lot of dips today. I got to talk about Kanye. Just got the last bit of Kanye in. So I got to talk about that. But vibration's super high. Everyone's doing great. Coming in early. I like that. We're live streaming consistent. I like that. We're working hard. The community's working hard. And like I said, I got lots to talk about today. So many, man, I have an old war comedy propaganda movie I need to tell you about, because the tensions are very high in the culture and the community. So we will be doing various you could say activities, meditations, contemplations. Each topic is a contemplation on what is the loving kindness here. You know what I mean? And so we have I have several topics today that I think are going to be of great interest for everyone in the culture and the community. Then, of course, we have someone coming on to talk about colitis, which I think is very important. You know, and I know someone in the comments, I think Sukhbir saying, I think it was his name, Sukhbir, was saying, oh, nobody wants to hear about your colitis. Excuse me, that's great content. I'll tell you what, that's good stuff. That's viral content material because people need it. Because ulcerative colitis is a great mystery. Nobody knows. I have it. It comes and it goes. It is like the YouTube algorithm. It comes and it goes. And yet, it's not that mysterious. You know, like I've been intermittent fasting for like 10 years, but I eat garbage in my 8 hours that I get to eat. I'm not eating. Basically, my mentality is, well, I did my fast. Now just eat chocolate. That's it. That's my mentality. So, of course, there's an issue there on my end, but it is a kind of a blind, you know, I'm just learning it in meditation that that's basically what I'm doing. So anyway, but actually I found a solution to ulcerative colitis and we'll be talking about that. And Applejack 59 is going to come in and he's going to tell us his experience, because let me tell you, these are harrowing experiences. And even if you're not going through colitis yourself, listen, you're going to go through old age. Suffering comes for all. Suffering comes for all. You think you are exempt? This is the job of the guru, to tell you, to warn you. What's up, everybody? Wow, what do we got here? What do we got? Urana Brew, Yahuvi, the drip. What's up, babies? How's it going? Let's go to the drip cam. I don't know why I can see so much more here. Like, there's so many comments in real life, and then I go to the freaking comments. What the hell is it doing? Honestly, OBS, I can't believe OBS just did that. Like, we honestly have so many comments. Why is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. OBS. God damn. You know, I had a whole rip today on, okay, so another thing I got to talk about today is just these Russian soldiers, like just every bad, like drunk stereotype of, you know what I mean? Like, just how can this, it's going really bad, I guess. I initially thought it was like a kind of propaganda, because you do have to give them the shout out and be like, oh, they're bad. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do that to be polite, even. To be polite, even. But honestly, just the more stuff I hear about these Russian generals, it's like a stereotype. It's so silly. So anyway, we'll talk about that in the war section, because love is, you know, the opposite. War is the opposite of love. So even though today is a love drip, we have to talk about that. I got to talk about Kanye, though. I do got to talk about Kanye. CEB Applejack 59. It almost killed me. CEB Applejack 59 talking about his ulcerative colitis. And we're going to be discussing that soon. When can you come on, brother? Let me know in the comments and we'll bring you on. What's up with the hat? Ed, what's up, baby? Honestly, the hat, like, I don't know what it is. Like, okay, so can I just talk about this hat? My sister bought it for me for Christmas. I love it. It's great. One night I go dancing. I'm wearing it like while dancing, basically. One girl's like talking, we're dancing, whatever. And she was like this brown girl. She's from New Delhi. She's a brown girl. So we danced for a bit. And then she's like, what is this hat like an uncle? And then she just got, I don't know, she just changed her mind. It happens. Listen, it happens. It's like, it was like 10 minutes were good. And then but I had the hat on the whole time. But then I guess she got a good look at the hat and she goes, no. And so then I was like, okay, weird, right? Like, it's like, you think you're in the game, right? So anyway, I go for a lap around because after something like that, you got to do a lap around the bar. And this was at Regulars on King and Bathurst. Great spot. Always have a DJ on weekend and just it's jumping. Nobody cares about COVID. I told you guys the other day, people cheered for Putin because it's like, hey, cancel COVID though. COVID's gone. That's the attitude around here. It's ridiculous. Lefties. Anyway, yeah, no, COVID. What was I talking about? COVID almost killed me. Great topics today. Totally lost that train of thought. But yeah, we got a lot of great topics today. Oh, we got to talk about Kanye because his suffering that also makes me sad. You know what I mean? That he's suffering like this. When I see him, and I talked about Drake before too, these rich, famous people suffering like this over simping. It is simping. And we'll talk about that in a second. And also, you also got to give a shout out to Pete Davidson. He's really elevating the sexual marketplace value of the comedian. Never has it been done. In the history of the Western culture, never has it been done. That it's always been a challenge to these, the music people are having sex. What about the comedians? And for years, people have tried to figure this out. Like, why? Nobody likes the comedians. Nobody wants to, I have to have sex with a comedian. No, how do we improve this? Pete Davidson, single-handedly, he is improving it. It's Pete Davidson, right? Or is it Pete Davidson, the one from SNL? You got it when the game's like that, you just have to say, very good. And you're a comedian too, very good. Our culture needed this boost. Now we need someone to do it for brown guys. You know what I mean? It's a similar disparity in sexual marketplace value. The comedians, brown people, bottom, brown guys, bottom. It's fine. I'm not having trouble with it. It's okay. We're here on Wednesday. We're doing the love drip. I'm full of loving kindness. It's been great. I did try. I actually am having trouble with it. I mean, honestly, yesterday I was really in my head thought like, oh, I'm on the way I'm going to go watch Batman for the community. I was like, let me go watch Batman for the culture, for the community, so I can review that. And in my head, I'm thinking on my way, I'll just talk to a bunch of girls. I'll just be like some clever, whatever. Couldn't do it. Terrifying. You can't just do it. I'm not going to run some girl down though. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to run after a girl in the street and say, hey, what's up? So that's why Seinfeld had to date teenagers. Oh my God. What is it with the celebrities though? Like you're Kanye, right? Let's get into the first topic. Let's start it up. Let's start the first one because honestly, this Kanye, it hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings. Why does he suffer like this? Why does he have to suffer? And why, like you're famous. You made it, baby. Hold up. Let me pull that up. Let's get the visuals. What do I do here? Oh, wait. OBS. Here we go. But that little flip thing, I gotta do something about that. You know what I gotta do? Just the other way of changing the screen. Very good. And God is great. Oh, let's look at this. This is it's so juicy. But I'm the only BabaJi in the YouTube community that's going to give you a real love lesson on this. Let me tell you, all the other BabaJis in the YouTube community, they will be salacious and they will talk about this and that. Can y'all see that? See, the thing is, I'm asking if you can see that, but I can't see I can't see your comments anymore. Here we go. Let's bring the comments over. Yeah, let me know if y'all can see that. The Drip is my favorite PUA podcast. PUA, what did I do? I stunk it, dude. I was out. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. It's too scary. I can't do it. It's like on the street. Listen, running up to someone, it's ridiculous. These guys are psychos. I did watch a guy before I left, just for a motivational pump up. I watched this guy, Tay Social. Oh my God. There's such a Middle Eastern call. He's like, hello, hi. He's like out on the street, but he's a black dude in America. But he goes, hello, hi. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. Hello, hi. hey, you're beautiful. Like hard, but he doesn't say it with that accent. He just says hello, hi every time. It's a lot. I'm not going to stop. Like I have done it, but the right situation, like they're doing it from like run across the street. It's like, I'm doing it like, okay, we're both stopped at the street light. If I can rip a tight comment, then God is great. If I can say something tight that gets the laugh, and then from there, bing bang convo, okay, then God is great. It's like it's almost like I have to do my karmas, and then the karmas come back. But then the situations, I mean, the whole place was dead. I mean, half the freaking restaurants were closed. Half the businesses were closed. There's nobody around. There was this incredible rapper on the street. That was amazing. I just chilled, watched the rapper. I did talk to like probably 4 or 5 people, but just chatty. You know what I mean? Just started conversations, they'll chit chat. But yeah, no, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. I don't know how they do it. CEB Applejack 59 says, I'm ready when you are. Say when. Okay, 6. Yo, let me do this Kanye, and then we'll come back, baby. Yo, can y'all see this Kanye video? Kim Kardashian ready to close Kanye West chapter after baby party drama.
This joint 4th birthday party over the weekend managed to sweep headlines.
I'm allowed to play this, right?
Or their
Roberta was saying just cut the audio in and out, I think. Or just do 10 seconds at a time. But I feel like these people who make these videos, like, who is this? Clever News? It's like, you just cut a bunch of things together too. So are they going to be like, hey, no, we cut that all together. Now you're going to cut it together? Like, because that's what they're doing too. They're just every 10 seconds, they just change the clip. But yo, can you imagine? You know what? Like, you got to just say, it's hard. It's okay. Look, it's one thing. Because right now what's happening in this whole situation is, look, there's the emotions run high in this Kardashian, in these celebrity families. You know, quick setup. The emotions run high in these celebrity families. They're making art. The Tao is flowing through them. She's on a reality TV show that's all about like dating, staying in the spotlight, whatever. And then Kanye, honestly, there's something a little sus about every time an album comes out, something's happening to Kanye. And that's a little bit sus too, isn't it? We have to take all the factors into account. Because I feel bad for him, but then I feel bad for him. Then I look on my trending. It's like Kanye West, like just dropped a new track 2 days ago. It's like 1.5 million hits. It's whatever. You know what I mean? Looks like it's ripping. On the YouTube charts, it was like number 4 on all of YouTube. Just whenever I checked it, it was like number 4, I don't know. It was on the list. So you have to ask the question, oh, every time album's coming, every time the song's coming, some drama with Kanye. So that's also something. If you're like me and you feel bad for him, because it is a pretty hard simping, I guess. This technically does count as simping. I mean, it's like she's broken up with you and she's moved on to the comedian, sir. Your musician's time maybe it is Kali Yuga, the time of great suffering and great upheaval and chaos. And in this time of chaos, it is, the Nostradamus maybe said this. No, it is the comedian who they will have sex with, not the musician. The most beautiful, the princess of the society will nay be with music, but instead laugh with a new partner, Nostradamus said. Nostradamus predicted this. That's the crazy thing. That's the thing, though. Nostradamus, though, the guy can write. Okay? Say what you want to say about Nostradamus. The guy can write. Because I remember, if you go back and do your karmas and watch the 22 predictions about 2022 that I did on April 22nd, 2022, if you check out that, I think number 1 was Nostradamus. Nostradamus, he was talking about like the red dragon will hover over the west like a dark cloud, stuff like this. Hello, China. That's basically what was something. So he said red dragon. So here too, he must have predicted that the most beautiful woman in the society. I was saying someone like, good for Pete for getting with Kim Kardashian. I mean, it's fun. It's a silly life. He's doing a silly life, living with the mom in New York, still hollering. God is great, right? Raising the stock market value of the comedian, raising the sexual marketplace value of the comedian. Who will do it for the South Asian men? I don't know. Although these new brown guys that are coming from India now are pretty hot, actually. They're pretty hot. The girls too. Pretty smoker. It was basically like the one before this generation. Like this generation is actually pretty sexy. And I remember my cousin was pissed because I think he was out at a club and he thinks he's the king. And then some 6'2" straight from Punjab guy just comes in and he's like fuckboy ready. This guy's coming. They're not just sending him like one generation ago. They were saying like, hello, madam. Can I do a job, please? Okay, madam. Like it was like that. No, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, okay, drive a taxi. Like, Joe, like, you know what I mean? It was like the last generation was like, it's all about money. It's all about this, that, whatever. This is the friends generation. So they're coming ready to party and shit, dude. They're coming and they're actually, I think, raising their own sexual, our collective sexual marketplace value. I think these new immigrants are doing it. They're raising it up, like Pete Davidson is doing for the comedian. But no, this really does make me sad. Hold on, how do we get to Dave Chappelle? And it just makes you think. Like, I mean, I remember when with the Drake one too. It's like, I can't believe all the stuff he was saying about Rihanna. That just basically shows that, like, aren't you Drake? Why aren't people just like, I think someone will have sex with you. I think someone will, I think there's plenty of musicians that will. There's plenty of musicians who will. Why does it have to go from like someone who's not into you, which is sad, which is simpy?
Praise God.
Oh, sorry, wrong sound effect. I gotta play my sound effects.
Lord have mercy.
That's how I feel about this, because it is, Lord have mercy on all of us. Because if you think that your happiness will come from fame and riches and money and this and that, no. Still they suffer. Same foolish issues. Same thing. Why can't what? And it is ego based. I guess their ego just can't let it go. Also, albums coming out and you need that. And all the, it's like when the money's on the line too. I don't think like these guys actually sit down and say, let me write a publicity stunt and I'll say, yeah, I'll crash the party. And then TMZ will cover it and then it'll get here. And then my album's coming out. So let's go. I think all those calculations are done in the back end boardroom. And we all have a back end boardroom like this. And in the back end boardroom, you don't know they're doing it, but in the back end boardroom, it's like a little writing room. They're all getting together and saying, okay, what's going to fuck shit up? What's going to fuck shit up? Okay, cool. Yeah, crash the kid's birthday party. That's sick. Okay, cool. Message Travis. Travis will give you the address. Because it's like the thing with Travis giving him the address, who, by the way, this is the thing. He crashed the birthday party. And Travis Scott, who's married to the other Kardashian sister, he said, cuz, of course, you're welcome to the party, brother. Yes. This divorce happened, this and that, but you are my brother and you are invited to the party, brother. You must come to the family event. You are still in the community. Right? So comes in with that. You can't blame that. What, just because Kim Kardashian's going to feel awkward? Well, you had kids, right? So maybe he does deserve but at least, like, I'm just saying, like, behind the scenes, like, yeah, go to the birthday party. That'll be super awkward. Okay, who can get the contact info? Okay, you call Travis Scott. You text Travis Scott. Text Travis Scott. Say, hey, baby, how you doing, man? Yo, what are you doing? I want to see you, man. I miss you. I want to see you. Whatever. And then Travis Scott, oh, you're not coming to the birthday? Yo, just come through. Done. Okay, got that. He doesn't even know he did that, probably. The calculations are made. It comes out. Gone. Text is gone. This is how the ego works. Truly. A lot of you don't believe it. You have to do meditation to understand this. These people are lost in their ego. There's actually, if you look at how hard they operate, like him, Trump, how quick and just ready for the rip that they are, there's actually no time for thinking. The thinking mind cannot come in. It's just behind the scenes. One department says, okay, we got an album coming out. One department says, okay, well, the kids are at the party. One department says, well, I got, the communications department says, well, we'll just send a text to Travis. Travis will tell us. Bing, bang, boom, execute, plan, boom. Travis does this. He doesn't even know. Another department's telling him, okay, what are we going to wear? All right, they're putting together outfit. The hands move, put on the outfit. This is karma yoga. This is actually how all of our lives are, actually. According to karma yoga. I know that sounds ridiculous. That sounds crazy. I did want to tell you about this sexiest BabaJi in the game, but let's do some comments real quick. Tell me, I want to know what y'all think about this. What do you think? Like, some people think it's just frivolous nonsense. I actually think, like, relationship politics is some of the most powerful politics on earth. It's where a lot of money and all these issues, like, you know, they kind of like, it has a big impact on that, I find. Hold on, why am I sharing it? Stop share. I have an alternate camera mode. That is the camera mode. Very good. Very good. They must see us all together. It is one community. It is about one community. Hohenheim Productions. Good morning, a la congregation. Thanks, Hohenheim. We just had a beautiful service topic. Service topic number 1. Kanye just finished it. With the message of, you know, don't run after, be rich and famous, this and that. No. The suffering will never end. That's the point that I was trying to make there. It's like the power of your ego. It's, you don't even know. It's like the world changes. You move up with money, you do whatever. But at the end of the day, him, Drake, even Elon Musk, dude, when he was dating Amber Heard for a minute, and she just beat the shit out of him, and you could just see the bruises in public. He's kind of cranky. He's like, oh, can't believe you just beat the shit out of me this morning. And they still got to go together to some event. Simpy. Big top man, big top of the top thing. And he's simpy. I think he gave her like $7 million. I swear to God. It's legit. This is legit news. I heard she had to pay $7 million to some charity. She didn't pay it. She didn't pay it in the court order because the whole thing with Johnny Depp turned out to be fake. Like, this is a whole other story we got to do. But, you know, but even the point is, sticking to this Kanye story, it's like, you know, that's why this is becoming an ad for meditation. This is why you have to meditate, because your mind, you think, oh, I'm moving up, I'm doing this, I'm striving, I'm doing better. It's your brain in the back, is the ego is there, and it's basically saying, oh, you thought the suffering would go? No. Still, you will suffer. The suffering is built into the system. You have to suffer. And yeah, that's so sad. Planet G, Amish, you thick ox, BabaJi. You thick ox, BabaJi. I mean, I'm going to take that as meaning that, like, I have a very solid girth. And, you know, depending on how excited, you know, the situation, sure. Natasha Razor, I would beat Elon for $50. Okay, got a little domestic violence comment already. It's only 10:23, and Natasha Razor brought the heat on that. Great, Natasha, great karmas. I like that. Jay Gabru says, Yehuvi, I don't know what he expected. Hohenheim, honestly, it is Kanye's fault. Kim is not wife. Yeah, Yehuvi. And like, look, I'm a very non-judgmental. You know me. I'm with the Buddha. Non-judgment, unconditional forgiveness, compassion, loving kindness. That's my system. That's my system. But she's fucked up. Like, honestly, she's got issues. Like, you can't. The whole life can't be here. Is this what I'm doing in my life? Like, I see. But here's the thing. It's not about that. Like, I just saw the MrBeast interview on Rogan. MrBeast is a class act. And by the way, if anyone here is trying to get big in YouTube, which I think most of you are, and myself, then that MrBeast interview, it is mandatory listening. MrBeast on Joe Rogan. Don't tell the liberal media that I said that, but I have to officially recommend MrBeast, Joe Rogan. Listen, and do a contemplation on it, and do a meditation upon your own life. He is just so wise. 23. Even Joe Rogan says, he's like, you're so wise. How do you know all this already? He's like, yeah, I went through a party phase, and yeah, it was crazy. Like, I bought some t-shirts and Tesla. No, his party phase was something just ridiculous. He's like, yeah, no, I went through that. I did all that. I went through all that. I did a party phase. Yeah, I bought some designer clothes, and then I bought a sports car. But then I said, that's just not what life's about. This is the message we need in society. So good, man. What a great. And then Joe Rogan's like, you're so wise. How did you know? It took the rest of us until we were 40 to figure this out, or at least 30, 35. And then by then you're addicted to all the shit. You know what I mean? But he just bypassed it. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful bypass. And also, like, yeah, his addiction with YouTube, honestly, so inspiring hearing people like that. It's like when we have Roberto on. Roberto's so good with like just talk. Roberto's so encouraging. He's like, you have 10,000 subscribers, but it will grow, and that's enough to actually to make money, and that's enough to do it. Like, he's just good. It is just so soothing. You're like, oh, even Elaine was here, and she was like, oh, I gotta make some more videos. It is like a YouTube Guruji, Roberto Blake, and he's just giving his channeling and teachings. It's everything coming out. It's like, what are you, my child? What is your channel, my child? And then you say, it's like, live streaming is a great practice. Do it Monday to Friday and flourish. And you're just like, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. And always adding, like, but remember, as a great performer of YouTube, your mental health is number one. Do what is joyful. Do what is genuine. Do what comes out of your heart. So anyway, all that to say, like, Kim, yeah, like don't, yeah, you don't want to marry Kim K. Like, that is the fine line, I guess. Like, there's art, what we do, there's art, there's like genuine expression. And then with that kind of a show, you know where I think is the line too far for me? You know where is a society I don't want to get into, and maybe I'm being pretending and I'm lying to myself, whatever. I don't want to get into the society that says, you're dating him? How much money does he make? Or like, you know what I mean? It's like, can he, like, are you dating him? Oh yeah, but he can't even afford like a lobster dinner. Like, so what are you doing? Like, it's like too much for sure. It's like too much materialism. I feel like the show seems to be like that, you know, but who are we to judge the culture? I mean, I remember I saw, like, when I was watching The Crown, I was like, I saw The Crown, the British one, and I loved it. And I get caught up in this colonial pageantry and beauty of the queen, and you glorify the queen, and they made both the queens sexy AF. One's like legit, in real life they're not. One's like legit, like too hot, like fall in love kind of hot, but then the other one is still like wife material hot. You know what I'm saying? It's not that different. It's not that different. It's really how they both want to be seen, probably. They'll probably look at the show and they're like, oh, can this be my life? But no, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I was watching The Crown and thinking like, oh, it's so smart and such high art and so brilliant. And then I saw an episode of Kardashians, and I was like, oh, this is just American Crown, like in England, because that's what the Queen was. If you watch the TV show, and if you watch the movie before the TV show, the movie is it's a movie called The King's Speech. And I've heard it described as like, it's like Rocky for stutterers, because he's basically the king of England, but he stutters. And his dad is trying to tell him, like, hey, idiot, you don't even have to go fight. You don't even have to go, like, you know, get mucky, you know, like, you don't have to go yell at some Russian dictator. Like, all you have to do is give motivational speeches. We have no power. They're giving us money to just give these motivational speeches. Can you just talk, loser? And he's like, nah, 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 nah. The people of England, like he just couldn't talk. He's the king of England. And then his daughter is Queen Elizabeth, our queen right now. So that's, her dad was like that. They kind of had to, the movie The King's Speech is like them trying to teach him, like, it is like Rocky. He's got like this voice trainer, like an acting coach. And he's like, so you must stand straight and project. I don't remember what the notes were, but I should watch it again. It's such a good movie. That movie's incredible. Won like 10 Oscars. Amazing. Okay, TV show. It's basically just to be continued. It looks and feels just like that movie. So anyway, TV show, you watch it. The whole thing is them grooming Queen Elizabeth to be like, you're a television star now, madam. Give the people hope. You're just here to be the spirit of England. Give the people hope. Give a speech. Tell them that all is well and they can hold their heads up high. And like, so that's it. That's all she does. And so then I watched, when you watch, it's all like sold very sexy. I mean, the Brits are sexy like that. But then you just go to America and you call it the Kardashians. What's the difference? in a way, there's not much of a difference. Now, you could say, like Yehuvi said, again, this carrying on this sentiment of like not wife material. If you watch The Crown, dude, they were all trash. Like it's not, you think they're all pompous and high and mighty. I mean, her son is like had 100% had sex with Virginia Giuffre when she was 16 years old, allegedly. But I think that's pretty, like, at this point, pretty obvious. I mean, I think he just paid them off. That was the last news I heard of that. But they're all weirdos. Not, yeah. I guess like Kardashians. They are like a silly alternate race. They're like a full-time. It's like they're from a planet called Reality TV Planet, and just everything is like, oh, like you just say hi to them and you go, oh, hello. Can you tell me which way the camera is? Oh, Then I will present it this way. Like they're just always performing. It's like an alien race, and that's what they do. Anyway, Kim has been married 3 times, and she is divorce material. Natasha Razor with the rips, baby. Dating nowadays is transactional. That's why people are unhappy. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if you only go through dating apps, it forces you, it reduces you to a materialist paradigm. That's why I do try to just go out and meet people. And honestly, it's usually pretty good. Yesterday, I talked about this off the top. I had a whole dream in my head that I'd just go watch the Batman for you guys so I can do a review on it. But I was like, oh, on the way, I'll just holler at some girls. I honestly just terrifying. I mean, it's not, you just can't, it's not, I'm not running them down on the street. It's got to be a silly moment. And then I got a good one-liner in that moment. And then we can make something happen. You know what I'm saying? But to walk around it's not a way to live. It's not a way to live. But anyway, I remember I was just walking around, like at one point, I literally did like walk down an extra street to be like, oh, maybe there's girls over here. I was like, what do you just go home and edit your videos, idiot? Would you go home and do your work? It's like an empty street. It's over. Batman ripped, by the way. Batman was incredible. We'll talk about that in a second. No, I got to bring Applejack on because listen, ulcerative colitis. It's really hard for the community, but let me read a couple more comments. Goomer Zambrano, you're streaming early today. Just woke up. Sick. Zoomer. Yeah, Goomer. I've been trying that this week. Listen, we're going through changes on the channel this week. The analytics I'm going to show you guys the analytics actually, because this is a community event, right? I mean, this is a community undertaking. I'll show you the analytics at some point, maybe tomorrow. And actually, Roberto said that he's down to come on the show and just talk about our analytics. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, doing daily rips. I'm leaving for the US on Friday, so that might throw off our schedule a little bit. But I might be able to recover it on Saturday and then come back next week. But I might have to just take some days off next week. But when we get back, it's just going to be stacked with guests and stacked with like clip, because it does seem like the clips are what bring the heat on it. And it's almost like this is a clip generating process. You know what I'm saying? Ho9 Production says, yes, the Applejack. Okay, cool. Here's what I'm going to do with Applejack. And we're going to talk about ulcerative colitis because I know, listen, this is hurting a lot of people in the community. How do I share my thing? Invite. God is great. And God is great. Hey, CB Applejack. Hey, can you add me on? Maybe this isn't the time to do it. Applejack, can you add me on Instagram actually? Because I'm just trying to think of like what's the way to do it. I mean, listen, here's a link to this stream, and yeah, no, just hit that. Let's go. Come on in, and listen. We got to do chats with other people too. So just come on in, but you might be sitting in the waiting room for a bit because I do want to get into it with our boy. Why is it doing that? I do want to get into it with CB Applejack because I'll tell you, man, ulcerative colitis. Listen, you figure this out. Let me tell you something. You figure this out, you're sitting on $1 million. And I've been thinking for years about starting I'll tell you guys a little secret about myself. For years ago, since years now, I'll tell you like a secret business that I've been secretly working on, and don't tell anyone obviously, but it's called the Patel family poop juice, because I'll tell you what it is. It's a fiber product. The Patels have an incredible formula, an incredible mix. Can't tell you what it is. Can't tell you what it is, but I was thinking like just even me on a toilet and it's blasting off. But then I went to the store and I saw someone who did a joke like that. So it's like, no, I can't even do that. But me on the toilet would be silly. But I got to double check. If that's already done, I can't do that. I think there's actually one called Blast Off. Yeah, that's why. There's one fiber product called Blast Off, which is the wrong approach. The Patel family poop juice that's why it's a juice. It goes in and it says, come on, baby, let's go. And it's a different herbs, but also like some new fibers in the game. I don't know if y'all recall, but like fibers, like when you think about CB Applejack, you have to add me. I already follow you and message you. Yo, dude, I put the link right there though. Applejack, sorry, man. That's my bad. I should have just skipped that whole Instagram thing, but I don't know why I was hesitating about putting the Zoom link. Just hit that Zoom link. It's in the thing. It's actually coming up as a link for me too. And then after this, we'll have other people call in and we can talk about dating issues after. But because that is, Wednesdays, we do want to make sure we talk about dating, talk about the culture. I think that's a great segment for the community, especially if you've been dating scammed. That's very important. So the rest of you, that's the same link. But CB Applejack, let's bring you on first and talk about this colitis that is hurting so many in our culture and in our community. I think yesterday, was it Sukbir was saying like, nobody wants to hear about your ulcerative colitis. Listen, this is viral clip material. And I'll say something else. Yesterday, Sukbir was also saying like, do dating jokes because he loves the dating jokes. But let me tell you, poop jokes are a staple in the comedy community. Let's not, don't poo-poo on the poop jokes. They're very important for the culture and they're very important. You have to add me. I already follow you on MG. Yahuvi, I just drink concentrated coffee if I need to poop. That's a good tip. Yeah, let's get some more of these tips. I get a collab coin with the Squatty Potty. Get a collab coin with the Squatty Potty. That's a very good idea. Thank you for that. Okay, so I just let them in. There we go. Applejack 59. What's up, homie? How you doing? Can't hear you. Immersive? I can kind of hear something there. There we go. Bro. How you doing, man? Yeah. Oh, you're wearing a tank top. Okay, cool. It looked like you were just topless for a second. I was like, here we go. Drip, drip, rip, and dip, dude.
Hell yeah. So,
tell me about your experience. And I'll tell everyone about a personal cure that I may have found myself at the end of our chat here. But tell me about your experience with ulcerative colitis, because as I mentioned, a lot of people are suffering from it, and we want to know how people have overcome it in the culture.
Yeah. Actually, ulcerative colitis is it's actually a big thing. I mean, a lot of famous people have it. GSP from the UFC has it.
A lot of girls have it. Girls get it earlier than us, I think. I saw that somewhere. That a lot of women have it. Maybe more women have it, and they get it earlier. But I don't know. That could be bowel syndrome too. And I had no idea.
Yeah, and it walks hand in hand with Crohn's disease. And I just learned that MrBeast has Crohn's.
Wow.
Yeah.
All these autoimmunos, dude. They're messing up. Yeah, it is hurting the culture. And I guess it is a little bit of like, what do you think of this? Because I know like peanut butter allergy goes into conspiracy territory where people are like, well, in Europe, they don't have peanut butter allergy. So what are we putting in the food supply? What are we putting in the water supply? Like, do you think it's something like that?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, we're a nation that lives off of processed food. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
so sorry, is this gross for people? I'm sorry. I just pulled up this stuff because this is very important for the culture. Dude, look at this one. It's showing a kid with red spots on their feet because they got colitis. Has this ever happened to you? Because I've never gotten. Mine's all inside issues, I think.
I went through hell.
Oh my
right.
God.
So I got mine back in 2012, 2013. At the time, I'd gotten in trouble for a fight in Massachusetts.
Wow, you used to fight
for a little bit.
Okay.
And while I was incarcerated, I remember everything was cool. We were in the pod, just hanging out, and
Bro, you went to jail?
every other Saturday we would get chicken on the bone.
Oh
So
my
as soon as the chicken on the bone came, we would all throw in to have a big meal. And instead of eating the food when they serve it to us, we would have just like a big meal with the whole block. And I remember eating the chicken on the bone, and it hit me different. And my stomach kept hurting, and then I kept having to use the bathroom. And then it got to the point where it wouldn't stop. It turned into liquid. Then it turned into blood, and it just would not stop. I would not stop using the bathroom. I would literally have to sit there on the toilet all day. And in jail, you can sit there and put in slips to go see the medical, but they don't come until whenever they feel like it.
This is wild when someone tells a story and they're like, so let me tell you about my ulcerative colitis. So I was in jail. It's like, dude, the jail is almost like, we need to have a whole thing about that. Like, How old were you when you were in jail? And like, how old were you though?
I was from 22 to 27.
This is unacceptable, man. At that
For a
age,
fight.
You hit someone.
No guns or anything like that. Just a regular fight, fist fight.
Not a mercy.
So you really,
right?
Did you hurt them? Like, did it look bad? Like, remember how come the baby just beats the shit out of people, puts it on his Instagram? Have you ever seen that?
And he's fine, but as an average Joe, especially when you're in the state of Massachusetts, like I was born in New York, lived a little bit in Massachusetts, and now I'm in Ohio. But as an average Joe, working, doing what I think is the right thing, trying to be a father,
wow, you have kids.
You get tossed into jail.
So you had a kid, and when they put you in jail?
Yeah.
This doesn't get taken into account. You have a child. How old is the kid?
They don't care.
How old is the kid?
So I'm putting in slips to go use to go to the medical, but they don't see me, and I'm like stuck in the toilet. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to get really skinny. I'm starting to feel really woozy. I'm doing nothing but using the bathroom and dropping like pints of blood.
22. Oh my god.
So eventually they come to do they came 3 times a day to bring in the medications for everybody.
Okay.
Eventually they come in medication. My celly's like, listen, I can't even use the bathroom. Like, it was really becoming a problem where my celly couldn't do anything in the room. I was stuck in there all day. We would lock in and have to use a sheet to try and divide the bed from the toilet so I can just sit in the toilet all day. And so they started complaining or whatever, and the nurse didn't fully believe it. So instead, what she ended up doing was coming to the bathroom and seeing the toilet full of blood. So it was a big whole thing. They finally grabbed me, brought me up to the infirmary, and I remember they were like, okay, this is too much for them to handle. So they had to send me to an outside hospital, which was the Lemuel Shattuck Hospital in Jamaica Plain, Boston. And I go out there, and they had me drink like this saline drink to clear my stomach and everything. It was disgusting. And
it's so disgusting. I've had that, dude. It clears your stomach, and then your stomach is messed up for like 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah.
I've done that. It's so bad for you.
And they had a colonoscopy on me, and I remember they were like, hey, listen, we can make it so that you don't feel it, or we can knock you out. I'm like, knock me out.
Okay,
I don't know anything about it. I just remember they wanted me to count from 3 to 1, and then they were waking me up, and I felt really, really woozy.
Yeah, same.
The biopsy went out and it came back and they were like, hey, you got severe ulcerative colitis. At the time, I'm still not done. Like, I'm still stuck on the toilet all day. It took probably a week after they sent me to the hospital. So they're like, oh, well, we need to put you on this medication called sulfasalazine, which would help it out and everything. So I'm taking the sulfasalazine after they finally diagnosed me. And I feel weird on this drug. Like, my stomach is constantly hurting. I'm still using the bathroom, just slightly not as much. And like, I felt like my hair was falling out.
Wow. My hair did fall out, I think. A lot of people are like, you're not really bald. It's like still grow. It's like patchy. It's not like male pattern baldness, but it could be that because, dude, I bleed. Like everything you're saying, yeah. But sorry, continue, man. Everything that you've gone through, me too, but not in jail. So I'm so sorry for that.
So it gets to the point where I get so sick I can't even get out of bed. But I'm still taking this medication. I started growing ulcers in my mouth, sores that I couldn't even swallow. My throat was starting to swell up.
That's why I don't take the medication.
I started flaking on my skin, and it was so bad I couldn't get up out of bed. So the nurse comes one day to give me my sulfasalazine, and she comes to my cell and she looks at me and she's like, she's staring at death. So she automatically calls in for me to get automatically sent to another hospital. When I go there, I get admitted for 3 months, saying that I'm going through Steven Johnson syndrome, which is an allergic reaction where your body starts to shut down. Turns out I'm allergic to the drug sulfa, which is the main ingredient in sulfasalazine.
Oh.
Yeah, so these guys
Western medicine, brother. It's a scam. It is a scam. It's so scammy, this Western. It's ridiculous. It's like worse than the treatment. I mean, worse than just having it. That's why I've never taken it. But continue.
So then they're like, oh, okay, well, they said that it's a lot of trial and error. And they have this other pill that would help called balsalicide. This drug does absolutely nothing. I actually come out worse because I'm stuck using the bathroom even more. And at this point, there's nothing formed. It's all just liquid blood.
Yeah. I know. No, I have that. Dude, I have that right now. Like, I mean, it just comes when it comes.
Killing me.
I'm in a flare-up right now. It's terrifying.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The flare-ups are the worst. Right now, I'm in remission.
I've been in remission for years, dude. One time, I swear to God, like last time, I broke up with a girl, and then like 2 weeks later, remission. And I was like, well, obviously. Or it's like the next day, it was like so close. I was like, clearly, she was stressing me out. That's my jail. Like,
so,
yeah.
So then, the balsalicide, I'm telling them like, yo, listen, this isn't working. This isn't working. So they do another colonoscopy on me. And they're like, oh, hey, his ulcerative colitis is getting worse. So now they diagnosed me with severe ulcerative colitis. And they're like, listen, if we don't get this under control, we might have to put you in a colostomy bag and cut out a piece of your intestine. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, you're not putting me in a shit bag. Like, that's not happening.
That's why I didn't go back, man, to do the check, because the check, they can't do anything with it. And it's like, you take this thing that, I forgot what the drug is called, but you take this drink that makes all your gut bacteria go away. So your stomach's killing for 2-3 days before or after. It's like really bad process. It's not good for you to shove this thing up your ass. But like, also, they're just like, yeah, you have ulcerative colitis. We don't know how to do anything about it.
Yeah, and I'm swearing up and down that it came from the chicken from the prison. I'm like, I'm gonna sue the prison and this and that. And they're trying to explain to me that, hey, listen, we don't know what's caused it. Yeah. It could have been caused by stress. It could have been caused by anything.
Gabor Mate says trauma, but it's not. I don't know how scientific that is, but it could be. I don't know. I mean, you're in jail as a 22-year-old. It's not natural, man.
And on top of that, they're also affecting my psyche, because they're sitting there telling me, oh, this is hereditary and it's permanent. There's no way to cure this. We could only lessen the symptoms.
Same.
So they decided they want to take a more severe case.
Man, I just feel like I'm too beautiful to have shit problems. I'm just looking at how beautiful we are, both of us. We're too beautiful to have these shit problems. Too beautiful. So, what a waste. But sorry, go on.
So they decide they want to take more extreme measures, and they figure out they put me on a transfusion machine called Remicade, which is what MrBeast is on now.
My friend's on that. But yeah, I know a comic in Toronto who's on that. And it's $4,000 a month, and it's like you have to pay $4,000 a month because in Canada they cover the medical side, but they're like, we're not going to pay for the drug. So whatever drug company's like, it's for
So so they hooked me up to the machine. It's a 3-hour process.
Oh,
every 2 weeks you gotta sit there while this thing is in you, sifting through your blood, pumping everything out, right? So I go through the first trial through it, everything's fine. The second time they bring me back out to the hospital to hook me up. As soon as they hook me up, I can feel my lungs swelling up and I can't breathe. So I'm telling them, hey, I can't breathe, but it's coming out as a whisper. They're quickly trying to shut off the machine. They gave me a shot. My throat starts to de-swell, and they're like, well, this happens because Remicade is part human and part rat. And I guess the rat part wasn't suiting well with my body. So my body was rejecting it.
Yeah.
So they go, we have one last thing that we want to try before we before we tell you that, hey, we're just going to have to give you a colostomy bag. So I'm like, all right, I just don't want this bag. I just don't want this bag. So I'm willing to do whatever. And I've already gone through 3 months in the hospital through Steven Johnson syndrome. I've already tried all these different types of pills. I tried Remicade now, which obviously is a transfusion, and nothing is working. So I'm freaking out. Like, what the hell did this gel do to me?
Yeah.
And finally, they're like, there's this drug that's been helping out people for the past 10 years. It's called Humira, which is it's like an EpiPen type of drug you take every 2 weeks.
And you got to jam it in? That's the only way? Why can't we just have a regular injection?
You jam it in your thigh. So
suffering one way or suffering another way, brother. I mean, what's the EpiPen?
But I will tell you that the Humira has been like a wonder drug for me. It's brought me back to normal. I haven't even been like stuck using the bathroom, and it's brought me to the point where I'm in remission, and now it's just a memory I'm always thinking about. I mean, there's still some times where it's just like I'll have formed poop, but it would be like there's a little bit of blood here and there. But other than that, it's just like regular life. So I'm just like, okay.
That's amazing.
But it was just such a wild story just to get there. I was so freaked out. I'm even now I'm still on guard. Like there's going to be a situation that puts me back in the hospital.
Oh my God.
So many medications I can't take.
It's crazy because I'm freaking out, but this is what old age is like for everyone. Like it does come for everyone. It's just sad that you got that's a lot that you got at 22. But old age meaning like as shitty as I feel, I should just get used to this feeling, because whether it's now or whether it's when I'm 60, something's gonna hit, and you have to face suffering, even if it's just the final a year or 2 years of life. I feel like we almost look at this side of ourselves and the whole community that like we all die eventually. It's just like we just don't want to think about it, I guess. You know,
definitely.
Like poop, I guess. You know, you just want to be like, oh.
It's so crazy too, because mind you, I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
And I've been living with it for, well over 10 years.
Right.
But I still think about like, oh, can I go out and do this? Will my stomach be hurting? Am I going to be in a situation? So
wow.
It's like it changes your whole outlook.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no, I mean, it changes your life. Like when you have to, like, as a man, I guess women have this at like 11 or 12. Like when they get their period, it's like, okay, there's something bigger than you here. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they get hit with that at like 11, 12, and then they're kind of used to it. They mature faster, I think, because of that. Guys, like it's like, no, I do what I want when I want. What's this?
Yep.
And this is like the hardest thing for senior men. And my dad was like, that was the hardest thing for him. It's just like, nope, you like he had a hard time just enjoy sitting here and just being taken care of. You don't get to do shit now. You don't get to do this, or like you have to take this medication at this time, or you have to get on this machine. Like they just, the suffering comes.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. And it's just like I'm one of those guys that want to run out to the woods and chill outside. I don't want to be stuck indoors, but I also have to realize that I have to recognize that there's a huge possibility that I would need to be close to a bathroom, or I would need to be able to make it to medical if something happened.
Yeah, I don't worry about being close to a bathroom. My stomach starts hurting like crazy, probably like 20 minutes before. So I can always get to a spot. But it's just giving me a good early signal. It's like it hurts like how girls describe their period hurting. And then I bleed like crazy. Dude, you know what? I'm transitioning, dude. I'm like, that's what this is. It's like you now be a woman. Suffer with them too. That's what this is. You know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And it's like
ulcerative colitis.
I'm scared because they're also sitting there and telling you that it's hereditary. You can pass it to your children.
My dad had it too, yeah. But my dad had it pretty chill. Like he fainted once when he was in India. He lost a lot of blood. His flare-ups, he had some bad flare-ups, but overall, like he went through his whole life without doing anything for it. Like nothing. Just always thinking about like, oh, I'm eating raw now, or like I'm trying some new. But then he was always trying like weird shit anyway. So it's hard to tell what, if any of it was working. Pretty classic Hindu, just. I heard an Ayurvedic doctor today. I heard a Christian, mystic talk about this tree bark that cures arthritis. He also had arthritis too. So, as we get old, all the sufferings will come for all. So, like, I think one big key takeaway from this is like, it's nice to talk to someone else who has it, because nobody wants to talk about it. And then I'm suffering alone, but now we suffer together, brother. Exactly. You in jail, me in the jail of my ex-girlfriend, but still these traumas hurt us and we developed this or something. I don't know what it is. Oh, I'll tell you my cure though, and tell me if this works for you. I just started this week. Like, stay tuned. I don't know if it works yet, but it feels like it's working. Yogurt, just yogurt. My roommate's like, just yogurt, because the reason why this thing is happening apparently is because there's a bacteria missing in us. So there's a bacteria that's eating up some part of the gut. So it's eating up the gut lining. It can't do the job, and then the poop is just flipping and flopping all around there, and it's just coming out like whatever. So apparently this yogurt got probiotics in it. It's got the extra bacteria that I can just fix up the community in there, because it is a community of gut bacteria. It's a whole civilization. So,
well, they say like the yogurt Activa.
Yeah,
that's a really good. Any like probiotic is really good. Intermittent fasting helps.
Already that I'm doing. I have not eaten.
Yeah, to me it's 12 to 12. If it's not within that time frame, I don't eat.
That's good. Keep it tight. Yeah, 12 to 12. You do 12. I aim for 16 every day, and sometimes it'll go to 14, but generally I get 16 a day. At least 4 times a week, I'm getting a solid 16. So yeah, that's giving a rest, I feel like. And then my roommate was saying, do the yogurt on empty stomach. So I'm going to try that. And anyone here who's suffering from ulcerative colitis, try that out. But yeah, anything else you want to tell us about this? Listen, you're going to have to come back next week or something to talk about this jail thing. Like, what a side story. So I was in jail. I was like, holy shit. But that'll be next week. Let's save it. I was in there
for a while, and it was my first and only time. And I will tell you, it was crazy.
That's wild, dude.
And I was there for like a good 5 years for a fight.
That's, well,
Massachusetts.
Listen, thank God that you are out now.
God.
I don't know if y'all heard that.
Praise be to Allah and to BabaJi, to everyone.
You are free, brother. You are free. Take a bow. You're out there on the balcony. It's like, yes. I survived. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming, homie. There's
Definitely.
another guy waiting, so we're gonna let someone else on. But dude, that was great chatting with you about that. I really need to talk to people. It is like counseling for me. It's like, okay, other people are going through it. It's very normal. Like we do as a collective need to figure something out for it because
That was the whole thing. When you first said, "Oh, I have ulcerative colitis," I was like, "Holy crap! I gotta tell him. Tell him."
Sick, dude. Thanks for coming, man. You are a love, brother.
Definitely. I'll see you in the chat room.
Sick. Thanks, man. Peace.
All right, peace.
David Dumlau, you were in the audience. What do I do here? Dun, 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 dun. Yo, David Dumlau. Sorry, dude, you were in there, and then it looked like it was showing you in my stream that you're trying to get in, and I just wanted to take that down. But if you could just hit that link again, Habibi. You are most welcome to come. If anyone else wants to talk, listen, it's I don't know if I'm gonna do this love thing on Wednesdays, to be honest. I think every day is just gonna be ripper topics. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like as a loving kindness coach, like every day is love. You know what I mean? Like we need to bring everything back to a place of loving kindness. And let's look at those naked HD XYZ online strips without clothing. And they have arrived. You see that? Even in such a great service of loving kindness, the troll has arrived. The money hungry, the devil has arrived. Thank you, whoever, Hohenheim Productions deleted that message. Hohenheim, I appreciate you, but I also feel like for the content, we should put that on the show. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's hilarious. David Dumlau, what's up, baby? How you doing? Yo, I love this animation you got. Good, man. Good, man. What's up? Tell me about your love life, brother.
Well, I recently got divorced.
Oh my God.
Well,
did she take all your money?
Well, sort of.
Wow. I know a lot of divorces now where the guy has to pay the girl. Progressive. But yeah, that's rough, dude. It's such an insult to injury. So tell us about it. Tell us about like how like if you have any grievances too, but just tell us like even like what do you think led to the decline of it, and how has the process of divorce been for you?
Well, it's kind of rough because when I filed for divorce, it was during the pandemic. And the hardest part is like probably your dad, right? He migrated to Canada. I migrated to the US.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, like, I was trying to find somebody to spend my life with, right? So okay. I thought that was this girl.
And you will find someone again, brother. Don't forget that the Buddha's loving kindness is unconditional and unlimited, and it will come back. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, but the hardest thing is like the kid, right? So
yeah, that's rough, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, at least my daughter could understand it. That I have to do this. I postponed it for the longest time, and I told her I cannot postpone it anymore. Sorry. Yeah. And the bad thing about it is that girl was just after the money. Like, she keeps on increasing the alimony. It's like,
and alimony keeps going up. So so she's divorced you. Yeah, this is very similar to Kanye. You see this? Kanye represents us all. This is what Kanye, I feel like, is going through. It's like I remember David, like on Joe Rogan, he had this guy on for like 3.5 hours, famous Canadian writer from New Kids in the Hall. Oh, no, from Kids in the Hall. And same thing. It's like they leave you, they break your heart, but then every month is like this, give me more money. And it's like, baby, you're just banging another dude now. Just take his money now. Or you know what I mean? Or like, but you can't, eh? Like, how do they justify taking? Can you say how much money and like how long you have to pay for? And then how do they justify taking it from you?
She was justifying it because she was not working. But for the longest time, like ever since before I even married her, I was telling her that you need to find a job, because she was petitioning me. And then right after we get married, like a few months after she get pregnant, she stopped working. It's like, how are we gonna survive even? And the problem is, I don't even have a work permit back then.
I wish we lived in a culture where we took care of women when they had kids, though, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, it sucks that you have to do it. Like, it falls on your head. And it's like, we as a culture, like, we need these kids. Capitalism needs these kids. They feed the next generation of workers, and we don't want to pay any money for them or like give them any, and they don't vote too, right? So it's like kids don't vote. These single moms have a lot of times are under 19, so they can't even vote. So they just get no like other people get so much money and children are left hanging. I think it's because they can't vote, and I think it's because it is like a lot of this capitalist propaganda that like, oh, it'll ruin society, or like the welfare queens and all this shit. It's like this struggle like falls on your heads, and it destroys the love between you, because the number one issue in marriages is financial problems. Would you say that's like that? It sounds like you're saying that's kind of what got in the way here. Like, she was kind of like, she didn't want to work, you weren't allowed to work, and that was kind of putting a strain on the relationship, would you say?
Yes, that's one of the main thing. And then when I started working, so I have like several I have a full-time job and I have several sideline jobs.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it. Why is it that I cannot the savings is not going up? And then
you said the savings are not going on. Like, you're not collecting savings.
Yeah, you're not. I'm not.
Yeah, so it's like money in, money out.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
This is why a lot of people aren't having kids, brother. I mean, this is not just you. And like, I know there's a lot of people in our culture that want to say like, you know, toughen up and this and that, but it's like the economy's dead. And especially for this next generation, it's like the number one reason, if we just would put aside this propaganda of like, oh, I guess the millennials are lazy. It's like the number one issue people don't have kids is money. And the culture doesn't have any left. And there's like some real, I guess, issues with capitalism that we got to figure out. But as soon as you say the word, people are like, they get it, it's a communist. People just get mad. They don't want to talk about it. But it's like, we don't fix these issues. Anyway, so financial strain is the thing that took you down. Now, let me ask you this. You're in the relationship with her. While these financial issues are happening, how is the romance? Like, obviously it's dead. I mean, towards the end it's dead. But was there any attempt, or from both sides, to come to each other for the touch, the care, the tenderness? Baby, 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 I'm gonna figure this out. Baby, 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 love you so much. Oh my God, you were like, is there this like what? How does that end? Because at one point you had that romance, probably. At the end,
Yes.
it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then how would you say that decline went? What happened? Like what?
Well, the thing was gone like after a year we got married, and it's like 12 years from this time right now.
So how long did you know each other before you got married?
Less than a year.
Right. So is this like an arranged marriage, or is this like a love, as we call it, love marriage?
No, it's not a arranged marriage.
Oh, so you just met her.
Yeah, because like if it was like an arranged marriage, I wouldn't have kids with her, right? It's to me, I don't want to bring a kid and suffer the consequences, or the kid will suffer the consequences for the rest of her or his life, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
they are very resilient too. I mean, a lot of times kids, like, look, it doesn't mean it's so bad. I mean, it would be better. It's not ideal, but you know, my nephew's living with a single mom, my sister, most of the time, and he's so well adjusted. He's doing great as a kid, and he is getting the time, like the amount of activities they do, the amount of like, even like just keeping check of like, okay, he has to have a positive male role model, so make sure he's doing an activity like this, make sure you do an activity, make sure he does, like, you know, it's all there. And also she's very like cooperative with the ex-husband. So like, for you, is it difficult? Is it like uncooperative now? Is it like, or is it kind of like, okay, I want you to help with the kid, or you know what I mean? Like, get the kid 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Like, how much do you have to get to see your kid?
Well, I'll let you judge it, right? So me and my kid was requesting for the longest time that she get a vaccine.
You and your kid?
Yes. So
Wow.
no, we were requesting the wife to authorize my daughter to get a vaccine.
Okay.
Because she's playing sports.
Yeah.
And it's just like a added protection that she might not so that she will be prevented from getting COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's sports heavy breathing over there.
Yeah, especially like contact sports like basketball and volleyball.
Okay, cool. So did she get the vaccine? She didn't get the vaccine. Your wife didn't want to get the vaccine?
No, because of those conspiracy theories.
Honestly, you think that would be enough to get your kid back? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like the judge wasn't, because it seems like everyone's pretty like on board with the vaccine in Canada anyway. Like that seems like the kind of thing that you go, well, that could be negligence, but it is a gray area. Kids are a gray area. But your daughter, is it your daughter? You said, right?
Yes.
She wanted the vaccine too.
Yes. They had a fight recently where she was saying that, oh, I need the vaccine because I'm gonna do contact sports, like basketball, right? And I'm scared that I might get COVID.
Okay.
And especially right now where they are removing masks from the schools, so there's a higher tendency. Although right now I think COVID is dying down, but still there's a chance where she could still get it.
Yeah. But this is really, we usually do scam rehab. This is divorce rehab. We should start a segment when we should do Wednesday's divorce rehab, because this is a lot. Like the stuff that these courts are making you go through. Even I remember the fact that you can't even divorce for 1 year. In Canada, 1 year you have to wait because of church rules. You have to wait 1 year. Get out of this business. And then the lawyers are just taking money. For what? For like a silly personal thing. Like, okay, helping the person raise the kid, that is a complex issue that there should be something, but it should be like kid focused. Right now, it seems so petty, and it seems like two parents almost fighting through the kid and through their money, and it's like you can't move on. But I gotta say, I don't know if you were here last week or I don't know when I did this, but like I got suckered into buying this girl a drink at the bar, and it's like a $3 drink. It costs nothing. It's like $3. I normally wouldn't do it, but it was cheap. I was like, okay, whatever. It's $3. She's really like, she asked me if I want to have a drink. Then we go there and she's like, oh, like I thought you were gonna buy it. Like I thought you were like a big whatever. $6. Who cares? It's 2 drinks. $6. Who cares? Get the drink. We start walking away. I'm like, yeah, so I write on TV. And as I'm telling her, like trying to go into conversation, she's like, she has a drink. She's like, huh, huh, huh. She dodges around like 4 people, runs to this giant guy and starts dancing with him. Just to be like, okay, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like she just faked me out. And the first thing someone said is, hey, dodged a bullet. You know what I mean?
Well,
I thought it was silly. When she did it, I laughed right away. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. You did a whole act out. That's so funny. I'm always just looking at life like, because God's writing the best jokes. So I was like, that's hilarious. Look at this girl. Are you a writer? Like, I wanted to be like, this is good shit. Running away like that. That's hilarious. That's going to be in a t-shirt, like a sketch or something I read one day. But here, like, do you want to get back with her? Or is it like, it sounds to me like it's just time to move on. But
no, it's time for me to move on. Yeah, but so the most part of the divorce phase was just worrying about how much she's gonna get.
Right.
And
she's coming in hard with that.
Oh, and I don't want to tell I was telling my lawyer that I'm not gonna pay her half my salary. Might as well quit. Yeah, if I'm gonna pay her half of my salary for each month.
That's how I feel about the government, honestly. Dude, they take 50% in Canada. Like if you make 100K, 50,000 gone. Why am I working? I guess the roads and shit, but the wife, come on, dude. It's like, why can't you just pay for the kid? Why can't you pay for kids' expenses and be reasonable? She doesn't just get half your money, even if you're married. Like something goes to savings. Can there be savings for you separate from her? Or I guess you have to do her savings too. Holy shit, dude. This is honestly part of why I don't get married. And this is a very black pilling for me, or red pilling, or whatever the hell it is. But this is why for years, every time, like, I remember someone was getting mad at me because I was just like, I'll never get married, bro. I don't give a shit. Like in my 30s, I was like, I don't give a shit, dude. I'm out here in the culture. I'm out here in the game, baby. Whatever. I'm talking shit. I mean, at the time, I was just doing maybe really, really well in that department. It's not always consistent, but at the time I was, and they were like, has anyone ever wanted to marry you? And I'm like, yeah, a couple of people. And I always said, can't get me.
Well, that's what she was trying to say, that, oh, nobody's gonna marry you after I divorce you.
She said that to you?
Yeah. I
See,
told her
baby,
that's not
I
your
don't want to
issue.
get married again after this shit. Why would you get married? Just, dude, two people fall in love. It's not natural getting married. You fall in love with someone. It's between you and them, and you do it how you want to do it. What's all this marriage shit? Like, I'll stay with someone. I'm not such a cold-blooded piece of shit. Like, I'm not like, I gotta bang another. I'm just like, the marriage, like, in my life, things that I want to do, time that it takes, money that it takes. I'm not spending $100,000 on the Indian wedding and 6 months of my life for what? It's meaningless. It's like, it's got to be some tight, like, YouTube publicity stunt, or I'm not doing it. See, but now I'm a Kardashian, I guess. I don't know. But that seems like...
I was like I was raised like a traditional Asian person, so...
Right. Philippines?
Yes.
Wow. You didn't put your real name, did you?
I don't care.
You don't care.
It is my real name, yeah.
They can't get mad at you they can't come after you for this.
No.
All right, well, let's see what's on the comment cam, baby. I'm so sorry to hear this, man. We should do divorce rehab. Honestly, the culture needs it.
I think it will help a lot of people.
Divorce rehab. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, and honestly, like, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to shit on the wives or anything, but it is like, oh, Roberto Blake is here, sick, dude. He's going to have some good advice. But, you know, it is like, yeah, what's the, I like, come and talk about it. Everyone should come and talk about it. Oh, the last thing I do have to ask you, though. The last thing I do have to ask you is, because this happened when Dave Foley was on Joe Rogan. Dave Foley, Canadian writer, like I said, he's famous Canadian writer. Such a sweet man. And dude, his ex-wife, like, just terrorized him. You know, and that's not me picking the men's team or anything like that. Like, she just said, you go through the details and you're like, wow, she really just said, I don't care how you feel. I don't care. This is Dave Foley. He was on news radio with Joe Rogan back in the day. Such a great guy, Canadian legend, Kids in the Hall. But he does a 3.5-hour episode with Joe Rogan. He's pouring his heart out. It's an incredible episode because I love hearing stories like this, even though they're so sad. I'm sorry to hear about all this for you. But he's talking about it 3 hours in the last half hour. Final question. Like, it's just, everything's terrible about this story. And this woman is just like ruining his life or whatever. It's very similar stuff to like even like for example, she would be with another guy. He has to pay for the house. But then if he finds out that she has another guy living there, he doesn't have to pay anymore. So he had to send a detective to go check whether the guy's living there or not. So the guy, just so he's legally safe, I think they made a trailer for him outside. So every now and then he goes and takes a nap outside and he's like, no, don't live in the house. It's like that kind of trickery. That kind of evil.
She almost baited me to like buying a house. Like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a house, and then we're gonna split it. Like, no.
Yeah, this honestly, and by the way, I don't want this to sound like we're even saying like, dude, this happens to women too. In Canada, anyway, it's like whoever makes more money is screwed. That's kind of how it works here. I don't know, like I know it's always like the men are getting screwed, but dude, in Canada now, this is feminism. God is great, equality, whatever. Now the women are getting so screwed, dude. I know a bunch of girls. Not that this should make anyone feel better, but I know a bunch of women who just, you know, they fell in love with the nice, sexy, young, hot, you know, like a little gangster, like a little cool dude, like who just wears, like, you know, when they're 19 or whatever, they're just like, I love him and I don't care and I love him. And they have a kid and the guy is just not given a penny, like he doesn't have it. So then the girl ends up having to pay, you know what I mean? Like, I know a story of one girl and she's so hot too. On her second marriage now, everything's good. New, like, has the old kid, has new kids, whatever. But she was saying that her ex-husband, like, because he just stayed in that teenage kind of thug phase, he basically, like, at 30, he was like, yo, you got to pay me money or something like that, right? So he did think he could get money. So then he takes her to court and he's just like, yo, like, Your Honor, like, yo, why does she make so much money? I don't have any money. What the hell, yo? And the judge is like, you're behind. You're 8 years behind on your child payments and she hasn't enforced it on you, but why don't you pay those? And then maybe we could talk about whatever. And he's like, oh, no. Like, he was just like, she felt so bad for him. She was like, oh my God, poor guy. Like, she was like, I just felt so bad for him. Because at that point she's like moved on, new life, everything's good. And then this guy just comes back like, you know, you give me money. And it's like, no, that's, so I guess I don't know. I've heard, like, in her case, she lost a lot of money on that guy. She was saying that she had to pay a bunch of legal fees and a bunch of extra shit just to get him off of her back, because he was the one who's like, I need more from you in some weird way. So she had to actually pay more money to get rid of the guy. And I know other women too, like, and it might be a Canadian thing, because I think in America, it's like, if you're a dude, you're done. Anyway, the reason I bring up Foley over here, because he does 3.5 hours on Joe Rogan talking about this woman who just terrorized him for whatever, better part of his life, like through the most incredible parts of his career. She's in the background, like harassing. So at the end, the last half hour thing, Joe Rogan says, how'd you meet her? And then Dave Foley is going through the story of how he met her. And I'm just like, oh, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. This would never happen to me. That's how I was thinking. You know what I mean? Not to be judgmental, but like everything he said about them meeting was a red flag. Like she was dating his friend. Unacceptable.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like she was like hitting on him while they were dating, like came over because like, oh, you're a writer and I love writers and you got a job here, whatever. Like she was obviously kind of like maybe banging for the context, something like, I don't know. The point is and maybe hit him like before they even got married. So before they got married, he was like, no, she was really great and it was really fun romance. And, you know, like she hit me once, but she was great. And I said, I love you. And so he was like that. Tell me how did you meet her? How did you meet her? Like, how did you get stuck in this so that others can avoid this? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I met her from one of my friends.
Sick.
And the red flag there is like
your friend's a coke dealer.
No,
Okay.
She was actually legit, but one of the red flags there is like she maxed out her credit card, and then the credit card company like banned her from getting another card. So she was not financially how do you call it? She cannot handle her finances, and then plus the fact that she was also recently divorced back then. So I should have did my own research and waited until I have sufficient evidence that maybe this is not the girlfriend.
Right. Looking back, you know the red flags now. The credit card, yeah, no debt, baby. That's an issue, dude. I've trained girls out of debt. That sounds so rude, but like I have been like, listen, baby, I should be in debt. I'm the comedian. You have a job. You need to be on top of this. You can't get on top of this. Like, come on, what are we doing? And then I'd help them, and then we'd get them like, no, I've helped girls get out of debt and shit, because they're just like, you're gonna eat brunch? You don't have any money. They want to go shopping. Like it's just there's no sense of like whatever finance. But that's interesting. Yeah, no, maxed out credit card. That's the issue, man. Especially if your parents aren't rich or something. Like some girls are like that. Like they're just like it's maxed out, whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're crazy. And then you realize that like just every 6 years the dad pays it all off. I'm not saying it's okay. That's actually creates its own suffering too. That creates a lot of suffering for the girl. It keeps her from like learning whatever. But at the same time, from a strictly selfish perspective, I'm just kind of like, it's cool. Like daddy's backing this up. But there's some girls that I'm like, your parents aren't even rich. What are you doing? You need to pay off this debt. Like that should be number one priority. Like just get rid of this, and then Anyway, yeah. So big red flag. Yeah, honestly, it's one of their red flags too. It's one of their red flags. I remember I was watching Jimmy Fallon, and they were doing like fake dating profile videos, and the funniest one, the guy's like, hey, I'm Kyle. I'm 45. 40K in debt, just want to be upfront, like, but I'm paying it off and I want to pay it off with you, something like that. Like it was just like silly, but it was like, yeah, so what if I have a little gambling debt? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like to play, and sometimes it's not my fault, sometimes it's the goddamn debt. Like he's just screaming or whatever. It was a great sketch, but it was just the line that got such a laugh was like, he's like, yeah, I'm in debt, but we'll figure it out. Like people were dying.
That's what I was thinking before I married her. Like, oh, this person is gonna change later on, but I was wrong.
No. Yeah, you're right. But you know what? You are loved and you are forgiven, and that the Buddha has that for us. Wow, that I slid out so perfectly. You have the unconditional love of the Buddha. We make mistakes. You know what they even teach now? They say, don't even say you were wrong. Your collection of patterns acted incorrectly.
Yeah,
'Cause
just
you're-
like what my mom was telling me. Oh, just learn from your mistake and move on.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, dude, mom is good. See, mom knows. How old are you now?
40.
Baby, you got time in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's one good. That's honestly, you know what I think this is? A lot of this divorce politics and the fact that women get more money. What I tell a lot of guys is like, listen, this is our tax for like not having to deal with the period, not having to have the kid, you know, other issues. Like there's a lot attached to that. And also, you know, you get a bonus of aging a little better. You know what I'm saying? It is easier to age maybe as a guy. Like you can, and you like guys have more time to figure out their career and not only aging, but like you can even just get married to someone else, have another kid, have a new family. And this could just be a financial burden on you for what, another 10 years, 15 years? Because it does end, right? When the girl, when your daughter turns 18, it's over.
Yeah. So my daughter right now is 14. So and she's turning 15 in October. So it's
Baby,
only 3 years.
3 years, dude. Give her 50% of your salary. Give her 60% of your salary, and say, God, just take that salary and you let go and let God. That's all you can.
Plan.
What's that?
I said that's the plan.
That's the plan, right? Because what I've heard is any kind of fighting, and this is totally in accordance with the Buddha, any fighting will be an added tax on you. So this is what everyone says when they're going through, like, good divorce lawyers. They tell you this. They're like, if you want to be nice, it'll cost $30,000. If you want to ruin someone's life, it'll cost $100,000. What do you want to do? Like, that's kind of their price range. They do like, do you want to, like, it's like, how much is it going to cost? Well, it depends. How much do you hate them? More hatred, more money. I got to take a cut. But if you guys are cool and everything funky dory, well, you know, what am I going to walk away with? 20,000? I don't know. Like they almost want I don't say they stoke the fights, but like some of them are just like, you know, that's kind of how they quote. They're like, people come in like, how much is it going to cost? How much do you hate them? And that's good. So honestly, the best thing you can do, again, according to the Buddha too, but it plays out in the world in this great simulation that we are in. It plays out here too. Like the more anger you approach her with, it's just going to be, that's 5,000. That's 10,000. She's just got you for 3 years. But once it's done, is it clean done? What would you say about that? Is that it?
Yeah, it's done.
Well, then
I'm
God
just
is great,
trying to
brother.
Find a place to transfer my stuff in because I'm gonna move out.
God is great, brother. Yeah, I know a lot of people going through this, especially over COVID. Thanks. Glad you came on. This is a great clip. I want to cut this clip and put it on now because it's you know, the culture needs it. You know, divorced man secrets something. You know what I mean? I think we can turn this into a clip. I like it. Divorce. We call it divorce rehab, because that is a big scam too. Divorces, and we cut it and then we'll put it up and we'll make the thumbnail like, she took that much money, like something like that, something wacky and wild, and let the culture know that, listen, if you're dealing with this, the drip is a place you can come to. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for being the first, and we appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to say about that? Any plugs you want to make?
I guess for any guy or girl, if you plan to get married, probably do more research on the person.
Yeah.
Not get your affection or emotion get into your decision, because it's gonna cost you in the end.
100%, man. Words of wisdom. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right, thanks
for watching, and let's go to the comments. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God. I just put at the end of that interview, I put remove David Dumlow, and now Zoom is saying like, report him. What did he do to you? Look at this. It's this is the options they give me. Report David Dumlow. Offensive, illegal, or abusive. That's option number 1. Suicide or self-harm, private information, spam, copyright or trademark infringement, impersonation. And then the last option is, I'll tell you later. Hey, Zoom. Include desktop green screenshot. Oh my God, Zoom. Stop. I had to do a report on him because I just said remove from stream. That's so silly. This is trauma, people. After 2 years of people masturbating on their Zoom calls, on their Zoom business calls, Zoom said, well, we have to take actions like this. Truly, it is Kali Yuga. want to play this this track for you. I was just watching his documentary, and I was just like, this is the kind of clip that I'm like, why aren't more people like reporting this guy? I mean, he's just doing some kind of like a sex trafficking anthem here, but let's just take a look.
Let me think.
Look at this. He's in Ethiopia on stage for thousands of people. 2 minutes, 55 seconds in, he's just rambling. He always does this. This R. Kelly is such a psycho. And I guess you have to be a psycho to believe in yourself like this. Ramble. 2 minutes, 55 seconds. Then he makes it seem like, oh, I just made up a song.
I got it.
I guess once you make I Believe I Can Fly, you're always looking for the next I Believe I Can Fly, but this is...
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America.
That's it. That's all we get. That's it. Be careful with the algorithm. Yehuvi, message retracted. What did you say, Yehuvi? Genevieve Johnson, Tony Soprano. Are you also an attendee of Dan Bell's Saturday live streams? Oh, Tony Soprano. There's another guy named Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano's here? Cost of living higher in US. Okay, cool. Roberto Blake is here. Our great Guruji of our channel. The great Guru. Without him, there would be no live stream. Roberto Blake says, I think consumption is a bigger problem than what people are blaming for capitalism. I like the cost of living calculator from Nerd Wallet to figure out living expenses. You see, Roberto Blake is all about, and this is a very positive take to have. Roberto Blake's always basically like a don't get bitter, get better. Figure it out. Get the calculator. That's all. And when you go to his channel, he's doing all the calculations. Let's look at Roberto Blake's channel, actually. Let's look at our Guruji. BabaJi. Your channel is just so powerful, BabaJi. This is just like, man, these growths are amazing because I remember even when I started with Steven, he was at like 89K. I feel like when we first had Roberto on, I feel like Roberto was at like 200K. 547K, baby. The abundance is here. He is the guru of YouTube. He's the YouTube guru. Future of the creator economy. He looks at the algorithm and he says, I know, I can communicate. I can dance with it. That's what this is. It's like he's dancing with the algorithm. Like Sufis dance with the beloved. We all dance with the algorithm. The algorithm, it is, it's a magical thing, but I honestly do think, as Roberto's saying here in the comments, but also as he said before on the show, like, it is something to, I guess, figure out, like it's always something that we're like, what will please the algorithm? What will make it happy? So I feel like the answer, I found it. And I was asking Roberto too to come on even the show and just look at our analytics one of these days. Maybe like, when I get back from the States, I don't want to like put it on him right now, but like maybe when I get back from the States. But yeah. Oh, look, he's got another one. Socialism is bad if you talk to people from countries who have experienced it. Yes, 100%. 100%. See, Roberto Blake is very like figure it out. Independent, but there's truth to that. You know what someone was telling me yesterday? Someone was telling me about the World Economic Forum yesterday. And the guy from the World Economic Forum, you know what he said? He's like, I have infiltrated 50% of Canadian politics. I have Jagmeet Singh. I have Justin Trudeau. They're in my pocket. The head of the World Economic Forum saying this. And I look at their trailer and I'm like, what's the issue? I guess the issue is like releasing too much control to the government. As much as I love healthcare, as much as the idea of UBI sounds great, there is an incompetence I see there. And there is this thing in people to kind of like not take responsibility for certain things where we're just like, well, I'm sure they have it. I'm sure they figured it out. I'm sure they know what they're doing. So many people are mad about this. Actually, this is Yesterday I saw this clip. This World Economic clip. Hold on a second. What is the Great Reset? Let's watch this. I feel like they cannot ban me for this because it's like their own not propaganda. It's their own sales material. But let's play it fast and we'll do a little stop and go on this. I don't know. My buddy was showing me this and I was like my brain was too on left-wing mode. And I was like, they sound kind of nice. Let's hear it.
The pandemic has radically changed
Hold up.
the world as we know it, and the actions we take today as we work to recover will define our generation.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis.
2020 has been challenging on a lot of levels, as economic, environmental, and societal frailties have been laid bare.
I gotta say, like, just the quick flash editing alone is giving me a real propaganda vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy who was telling me about World Economic Forum, he was also telling me about a book called How to Lie with Statistics. And he was like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, I don't know what you're mad about. But now I kind of see it. Let's keep going.
But it's also proved that when we need to, we can act rapidly and restructure our lives.
See, like he was saying, like, look, this is their agenda. You were a good boy when you put on your mask. That's what he was seeing. I wasn't seeing it right away, though. Like, I was kind of like, well, they sound like a reasonable organization. Tell me what y'all think. Like this World Economic Forum, this is their main sales video. Tell me what you think. Because this guy showed me the video and he's like, why aren't you mad, Amish? Why aren't you mad that these people are taking over our planet? They've bought our politicians. He's brazenly, openly saying that he has infiltrated our government. Why are you not mad? Because I hear it. I'm like, well, it looks like they care about the environment. Let's keep going.
Recovery from the pandemic is an opportunity. We can see rays of hope in the form of a vaccine, but there is no vaccine for the planet. Nature needs a bailout. You don't want to go back to the
graphics tight, though. A little too tight, right?
status quo that you had before, simply because it was the status quo that got us here.
With everything falling apart, we can reshape the world in ways we couldn't before, ways that better address so many of the challenges we face. And that's why so many are calling for a great reset. A great reset? That sounds more like buzzword bingo, masking some nefarious plan for world domination.
I mean, this is classic propaganda. They're basically in their own sales video. They're like, great reset. Is that some kind of propaganda? Of course, it's not a propaganda. Only stupid people think it's a propaganda. Look at Daily News. It is like the Fox people. They think it's a propaganda. No, this is the right plan for the planet.
Hands up. This kind of slogan hasn't gone down well. But all we really want to say is that we all have an opportunity. Hold on. Did they just do like a little Black Lives Matter? Like, it's a conspiracy. Well, is Black Lives Matter a conspiracy? Well, we say hands up. I can't breathe. I don't know if that's what that was. Let's just like buzzword bingo, masking some nefarious plan for world domination. Hands up. This kind of slogan hasn't gone down well. But all we really want to say is that we all have an opportunity to build a better world. And it's not surprising that people who've been disenfranchised by a broken system and pushed even further by the pandemic will suspect global leaders of conspiracy. But the world's not that simple. Every one of us has differing priorities, values, and ideas. That's part of why solutions are so hard to come by, and why we all need to be involved in the decision-making. Because whether it's politicians, CEOs, academics, activists, or you, we're all about getting people together, even those you may not like.
They got Greta. That's where I was kind of like, well, they got Greta. We're mad at Greta now? This person's a lefty who was showing this to me. He was a lefty. I don't know, but I now think, like, is he a lefty that swung back? Because sometimes the polarization does that. It is like magnets. Like, there is a polarization always at play in all these conversations. You know what I mean? Like, this is the George Soros crowd, I guess. Let me play it. Let me play a sound effect.
Not a mercy.
If I say anything wrong.
Not a mercy.
Like, to sit down at the table and develop solutions that work for all of us. But
we need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work. That trust is hard to come by.
Oh, get the seat, guy. Get the seat, guy. Let me tell you something. Nothing gives you some left-wing credibility than somebody in a turban. This looks good for the culture. Like, they had me on too. Listen. Those were the conservatives. In Canada, any conservative speech, main money shot, like the money shot's the politician, some old white guy. But in the main bing bang right there, like right where you're scientifically, your eye wants to look the most, somebody in a turban or hijab. It's good marketing. I'm telling you like some of the tricks. I'm just letting you know about some of the tricks. Let's keep going.
It's time for people to work together, listen to each other, and build this trust so we can move towards a better world. And we really need one. Because while the pandemic affects us all, it's clear it affects some more than others.
The first people who are hit are the people at the front, those who are vulnerable. It is those on the front line who take it first. And that is simply
Like, you know what it is? It's all like, I get it. Like this is the problem with these discussions. Like, this guy's showing me this video and he's like so mad. He's like, can you believe it? Can you believe it? And I'm like, it's like, I get it. It's like annoying. It's kind of like social justice voice a little bit. Like the voice is a little bit like, if you do the right thing, maybe we can save the planet. But if you're going to be selfish and silly and believe in conspiracies, well, then maybe the whole thing is going to waste. But if you're a good boy and you wear your mask, maybe then we'll all be good boys and girls and wear our mask. Be a good boy and good girl. Like that, it's got that vibe, 100%. But I just need the thing. Like I need the, tell me if I'm being too naive here. I don't know.
unacceptable.
See, at the start of 2020, 1% of the world's population owned 44% of the wealth. And since the start of the pandemic, billionaires have increased theirs by more than 25%, whilst 150 million people fell back.
Another classic move. You do the whole, the billionaires are up there and you're down here. That's what this guy was telling me too. He's like, we are going into a world, and he's a lawyer. But he's like, we're going into, the billionaire class is taking over everything, Amish. We got to fight back. Look at this. And he shows me that. He's like, our politicians are in their pockets, Amish. And I'm like, then I hear all this stuff. I'm like, I get it. It's got all the signs of propaganda. But technically, everything's correct. You know what I mean? That's the issue for me. But I'm going to read your comments in a second.
Set to dwarf the damage caused by the pandemic. The message from 2020 should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead. This obsession that we have had with maximizing profits for shareholders alone has led to incredible inequality and planetary emergency.
Here we go. You see this? Dark Night of the Soul. Take notes. Take notes. This is written. This is Hollywood work on this. It's written like that. Graphics are a little too much. Graphics are a little too much. But this is that den full of sinners, Hollywood. This video's got their sinful little fingers all over it. Just the timing of this dark. It's like perfectly timed. Look at this. 3/4 in. This is exactly where you have to put Dark Night of the Soul. Go black and white. And a death. If you read any screenwriting book, they'll tell you Dark Night of the Soul is something has to die. Something, and I've told you this. Something must die, so that what is new can be resurrected. One step closer to God. So I guess this whole manipulation is trying to get us all anti-capitalist. Like, yes, let's keep going.
It should be abundantly clear.
Capitalism, as we know it, is dead. This obsession that we have had with maximizing profits for shareholders alone has led to incredible inequality and planetary emergency.
But no one can do this alone. And top-down approach.
That's a ripper of a Dark Knighter. You know what I'm saying? That's a ripper of a climax. Like, that is technically the climax.
Approaches won't get us anywhere, because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results. And it's for these reasons that the forum talks about
diversity. Look, they got China represented. Like, who's on this diversity card? They put Xi Jinping on their diversity card. Okay. They also put this guy. This is the president of the Philippines. This guy. We all know that diversity works better. This guy, we've had him on the show, Duterte of the Philippines. This guy, we showed a clip on here on this show with Doc Adam. We showed a clip, okay? This guy, from like a completely unrelated speech, like he's talking about the drug war, and he opens the speech with 3 million Jews die in Holocaust. That is nothing. And then it's just like him being like I guess he's saying, like, compared to my drug war, that's going to be nothing. But right off the rip, the guy goes 3 million. So he cuts it in half even. Excuse me. 6 million. Let's not do these number debates on this. But he just comes in with the rip on that. Just opening line. 3 million Jews died in Holocaust. And after my drug war, whole community will say, this is a nothing. This is a nothing. Duterte is a number one killer. Like, that's what he's, you know what he's doing? He's lowering their, because I think he probably hit like 3.2, 3.3 million. Like, he estimated his numbers. So he's downplaying. Look at what this guy moving the goalpost. Interesting diversity card you got here. Interesting diversity card. I mean, I think this is the King of Jordan. Great. Okay, you got Prince Charles and you got Prince This guy's going to be the next king. Modi's here. Listen, I'm a Patel, so don't look at me for some Modi rips because I'm a Patel and I'm Gujarati. So we're from the same state. So we give him the pass. Okay. And black people do it with Obama and I can do it with Modi and we do it. But it's a big pass we're giving him. I mean, he really is like, it is technically a Hindu nationalist party. It's like a nationalistic, it's just Hindus. You know what I mean? My culture, my community. Anyway, it's interesting choices. Let's just go back and hear that again.
Voices lead to better results. And it's for these reasons that and top-down approaches won't get us anywhere. Because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results. And it's for the
I mean, you're showing so many examples of diverse not leading to better results. That's my issue here, right? That's my issue. And what's diverse about like you have our colonial, this colonizer, and this is another colonizer, brother. Why you put colonizer on diversity card, brother? This one is a number 1 colonizer, and this is a number 2 colonizer. Actually, this guy's going to be the next king. And then he's the prince, I think. He's the other pervert's brother. This is the pervert that just had to pay off the Jeffrey Epstein buddy. This is his big bro. They got these two on the card. And then, of course, they got President of Brazil.
Has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results. And it's for these reasons that the forum talks about something called stakeholder capitalism, which would shift businesses away from just profit.
I just love how like someone is going to see this card.
And top-down approaches won't get us anywhere because everything we've learned in our work has shown us that diverse voices lead to better results. And it's for
so this is this my cancel? Is this like someone's going to take this clip and be like, Amish hates diversity? Amish, why do you hate diversity? Why do you hate diversity? Why can't you celebrate the children? There's a little person here. There's black children, young people, Asian girl, white girl. Don't see the diversity here, but okay, fine, whatever. I see it here. Zuckerberg's here. Okay. What? Oh, I guess they mean diverse, like rich people and poor people. Like they mean the good and the evil. All the way. We have the full range. This is not even a color diversity. This is a evilness diversity, maybe. I don't know. Let's keep it going.
These reasons that the forum talks about something called stakeholder capitalism, which would shift businesses away from just profit. Because
if we want to change where the focus of our recovery will go, then we need a new dashboard for the new economy. And that needs to encompass people, planet, prosperity, and
Sadia Zahidi, Managing Director, World Economic Forum. Well, go ahead, criticize her. And you're canceled.
Institutions.
Giving people a real stake in the economy and putting well-being before growth. And that's all about getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
Okay, see, well-being before growth, great, believe in that. And it's all about putting right people, right place, right time. Platitude, doesn't mean anything.
We build our relationship with nature for the survival of the peoples and our planet.
That is correct. This is interesting. It's like what they're doing, the balance on this is like meaningless platitude, something that everyone has to agree with, or if you don't agree with it, you're garbage.
We have a window of time which is closing, and we need everybody who cares to get together and find solutions.
They got Jane Goodall. That's where I had to pause it, even with the guy who's telling me, like, he's like, why are you mad? I'm like, they got Jane Goodall. I think they know what they're doing. I think she checked the books. Right? So, but this is how my brain works. I just want to give you an insight into my brain. I can't, like, you're not going to get that at the drip, right? Like, you're just going to get me being like, I don't know. You know, it's like that documentary I was telling you guys about, like the bit about the documentary. I think it was Big J Okerson's talking about this, where he's saying that he watched an anti-fracking documentary and it was like, man, we got to stop fracking. It's bullshit. Then he saw anti-fracking documentary. And now he says, what the hell are we talking about? Just do the fracking then. Just do it. Why are we standing in their way? Like, this is what happens, honestly. Within the video, they're doing this to me.
No.
It's the people who have great ideas and who share them with others. They're the ones who are shaping the future. So if you want to be a part of the change, then tune
Mask on diversity.
in, turn on, and get involved. Follow the
I guess they really want us to just be wearing the masks forever. What is that? Is big mask behind this?
Davos agenda, right here, online, on YouTube.
Wow. I guess because the Clinton Foundation is, I guess, maybe dead. Like, I just haven't been hearing some heat on them lately. So maybe this is the new sexy player in the game, because I think it was actually in between. You know what it was? It was like the hot and this, I was telling Steven about this before. It's like right wing people are evil. They're evil too, but they're evil. They'll just tell you to your face, like, this is my evil. I think I want to change the education system so that we teach that being gay is a sin. It's there. They told you what it is out in the open. Then you got like but then the left wing evil is more like, oh, I have created an organization that saves orphans. And it saves orphans and helps the environment. We just got $14 trillion from the Canadian government. And then those guys are doing a pedophile ring. And that really is the Epstein. Epstein is so like, I feel like he was deep in with the lefties on that. That's why I remember when Trump, they were just asking about it. And Trump was always like, yeah, Epstein, hey, can't wait till that all comes out. Can't wait. He's got shit on everyone, dude. I can't wait till that comes out. Trump was walking strong with that. No fear. No fear. But Bill Gates? He's my friend. We were friends. Well, he's dead now, so there's no point talking about it. Can we move on, please? I'll cut your funding. Can we move on, please? That's basically on PBS. If you see the clip on PBS, that was a ripper, dude. She didn't let her go. They did their job that day when Bill Gates came on, maybe like 6 months ago. But there's a woman at PBS, and he's just like, bitch, I'll cut your funding. He didn't say it, but he's so close. So close. I think that's as soon as like, thank you. Is the microphone off? Okay, can we turn off that camera, please? I just feel like, who the fuck? Cut the funding. Like that's basically. Maybe he yeah. The most righteous people. I mean, this week's documentaries that I reviewed too. I got to finish the second half of The Worst Roommates Ever, but that's another one of those. The biggest evil will disguise itself as the greatest do-gooder. Jay Gabru 199 says, Amish, look into Klaus Schwab. He's the real problem. Well, I'll tell you the other thing this guy showed me is Klaus Schwab saying, I have penetrated 50% of Canada. I have penetrated Canada. Okay, close up. Let me see penetrated comes up. Because this guy, he just had too many videos. I couldn't even. Oh, here we go. Of course. Honestly, I got to start collabing with Memology because Memology has the rippers. And God knows he's going to get canceled any minute now. So it's like, why don't we just live stream his shit? And then he's always got he's got the clip, and then I'll do the commentary. God is great. Let's watch this.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, is that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young noble leaders of the world economic forum.
You know, even that though, when he showed me yesterday, Jay Gabru, when my buddy showed me that yesterday, I was like, yeah, but that's just how Germans talk, no? Or like wherever he's from. Roberto Blake, gross profit is not net profit. Net profit is tax, but that isn't wages. So it gives the media a pass on how they present it. That is very true. Honestly, like I don't even see the point of counting money. I'm a quality of life. Like you got to do experience of life living. You got to look at ROI on source energy. That's how I think you should live life. Genuine self-expression, do what you love. And that's every moment of that is a win. And every moment chasing someone else around or trying to impress people or, you know, expression versus impression is a big one for me. That's something that I learned in my 30s. I really didn't understand the subtle difference. But for a while, I would start telling myself, like, are you expressing yourself or are you trying to impress people? Even on stand-up, even anything, even here. You know, sometimes I'm like two in my head. I'm like, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do it? It's like, what is in your heart? Genuine expression. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important, you know, but so in my mind, I think anyone that's caught up in like, well, I need a bigger house and that was so good about the Joe Rogan MrBeast episode, which is mandatory homework for everyone, including myself. But I went to see Batman yesterday, didn't have a chance to rip into the full one. So I think we'll talk about that tomorrow because Joe Rogan clips do rip on the channel. They generally have a good rip rate on them. So I'll do my karmas and hopefully we'll get that done tomorrow. But also stay tuned. I'll put comments. I'll put like announcements in the comments, but I might be I do have to go to the States next week. So there's going to be some traveling issues and some internet possibly issues. So we'll see what next week is like. But once that's done, I'm in Toronto. I'm doing live shows every night. I'm doing live streams every day. And I want to be here with you, the community. And again, I love you all for being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You can come see me do live shows. We do my meditation live and, just dancing, just out dancing, being out in the culture, in the community. Why not? That's what God made us to do. Not to just chase after these, these meaningless prizes, but let's keep, let's read some of these. Roberto, it doesn't really affect anyone when the amount of tax revenue increases every year. You don't have to be ultra wealthy to do that, Kendon. You can do it if you are a small business owner and homeowner. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of truth to that. Like I do like this whole new culture, and Roberto is definitely part of this. If you watch his channel, he really is like, just with I think we're going into a time, and some people are going to accuse me of being like hyper positive, but like, it seems like we're going into a time of such maximal creativity and uncertainty in the world, in the market, that it's like scary to let go of the control. But then at the same time, if you can release, as the Buddha says, release it, like just new ways of living will pop up. And that's really what you're going to see on this channel. I mean, I'm, even like watching these Roberto Blake videos, I think Roberto's going to be on next week probably, but like going into the analytics, figuring out what's working, what's not working. Right now, it seems to me like what we need is just clips on clips on clips. Like the live streams are a place for us to get together, be a community, be a congregation. But when I look at the analytics, it seems like the big dipper for us as a channel was when our clips weren't going up consistently. And then you can see a clear dip. And then, yeah, we just got to bring that back. And now we're still struggling to find an editor, but maybe I just got to edit, and God is great. And God is great. What else did I want to talk about today? Roberto Blake. I just want to look at the legitimacies and see what I can do and understand what is on the table. And it turns out that when you look at it, there are qualifiers, and it's not being rich. 100%, Roberto. I mean, it's, so many of us get stuck in certain mentalities like this, where we're just like, I look a certain way. It's like those black pill guys that keep the what's his name again? They're just like I was talking to a girl about it, and she's like, these guys are just obsessed with their objective value. Like they just can't understand the idea that a woman would think outside of like, how much money do I make? How tall am I? How good looking am I? Like the idea that there's anything beyond that. And you are, so what do you think there's love? Stupid. But it's like that in the market too. And that's why the Buddha teaches, that's why meditation teaches, have a loving awareness. Because I think what happens, and I've heard this happens through our traumas, but what happens is all these little negativities, when you look at the market and say, oh, the market's it's too steep, then what your brain does is says, okay, we're not going to work on it. It just shuts down systems. Whole systems are trying to shut down, save energy, do other stuff. So these beliefs, these really, they're like in loving kindness, they're almost treated like little love blockers. You got 1,000,000% source energy, unconditional love, God, loving kindness coming in, creativity coming in. But in your heart, there's all these little love blockers. And each story, each bad habit, each negative story you tell yourself, each bad habit. Actually, the Buddha would say even the positive stories you tell yourself, they're all little love blockers. They take a 5% tax, 10% here, 5% here. Bureaucrats. They're just taking it. That's what a trauma is. It's almost like a bodily bureaucracy. It's a little side bureaucracy. Something happened, hurt your feelings. And that's okay. You are loved. But it says, oh, here's a little love. We can turn this into a little love blocker. We can get ourselves 5-10% here. We can get a cut. So now you've gone through something that hurt your feeling, that hurt you and makes you think negatively, maybe, and that was the great thing about today's divorce rehab, is that despite whatever he's gone through, and we haven't heard the woman's side, and you know that sometimes that can really change things. But you know, we objectively sat with him in his feelings and his emotions, and we talked to him, and we, in the end, he came to a place of, and he already had this place, but he came to a place of like, well, the only thing to do now is move on. We have 3 years of payments, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Like, it's the only sin is if you hold on to that suffering, that hurt in your heart. That's the only thing that's a sin, actually, technically, according to the Buddha, and according to Jesus too. Yep, you got to read the right ones. They take the books in and out on you. So even he teaches that like all these little beliefs, like, no, it's money's not, you think it's that easy, it's never going to be this easy, you got to do this and you got to do this. It's like, you know, you're just making little theories that are going to stop yourself. But yeah, sounds like you guys are in a rip over here though, honestly. Like it's hard to tell where to jump in on these, you know what I'm saying? Didier Munya Barenzi just got here, but a lot of hostility in chat. We must forgive the spammers, for they are foolish. Oh, Didier. Oh, Didier. What a beautiful message today from Didier. Yo, you know what would be actually an interesting way to do this? Holy shit. Okay, everyone, just chill and listen to this music, and then I'm gonna make an adjustment in the OBS. I just had an idea. And you know what? Here on the drip, rip, and dip, we're always innovating. We're always finding new ways to do things. And today we have to do a rip and dip. Oh wait, why isn't it letting me? Hold up, let's do this. No, don't do it. Oh my God, what is it doing? Don't do it. There we go. Ah, God is great. Okay, watch this. We're gonna make an adjustment to the rip cam. You gotta make an adjustment to the rip cam. Okay, not working. How do I do it? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to figure it out next time, and God is great. Oh, wait, here's a simple way to do it. Bing, bang. Bing, bang. Oh my God, God is great. You know, because the comments have been a little too big, right? Wow, what an incredible production we have. We are just ripping and dipping on the fly, live stream. God is great. We're flying. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? We're flying with God. You can hear that music, right? Oh, this music is so good. Cyberwave, it's such a tight ripper. Okay, now I take, oh, you've been adjusted. Now I take my cam. I do that. Wow. And God is great. And God is great. Okay, tell me what you think of this now. Alt cam, OBS, cam 2. Oh, God is great. You see that? You see what God does? God finds solutions. Wow, sick. That's good. Now I can read them. Okay, let's go. Look at this on-the-fly engineering. It's so beautiful. Okay. Robert, you're too kind. The energy to make these people understand is honorable. I get frustrated by entitled, pretentious, misinformed, outraged people. Yahubi, I don't even know which side you're talking about, but I get that from both sides, honestly. People are just so sure of themselves. I can't believe how many people get mad at me for not being mad. It's like, listen, man, I support your protest. We should do a guess. Guess who I'm talking about. Hey, I support your protest. I think it's great you're getting out there. I think you got to fight back. And then the person goes, oh, you support? Why aren't you mad? Why aren't you out here? I mean, is it? I don't know if it's the most important thing, but hey, I support your right to do it. You do it, baby. Do it. Let's do this. I'm going to do this. Oh, and God is great. Oh, there we go. It's 60-50. You know, you know how BabaJi always says, it's 60-50 with my community. I don't take anything from I always go 60-50. I do 60-40 with my community. Genevieve Johnson is here. What's up? Ho 9 Productions also here. No worries. It's to be expected being exposed online. Roberto Blake. And can the government actually help people struggling, or are they just really bad at it? Honestly, this is the debate that I had with this guy yesterday. He was getting so mad at me for not being more mad at this global economic forum. And I was like, you know, it just sounds like they're all in some lefty group. that's trying to spread like socialism and shit like that, like, and environmentalism. Don't you believe in that? And he was like, no, man, they're evil. Like he was saying, and look, legitimately, he had stuff to back it. I had to like get it out of him. I'm like, okay, give me the, I need a little more here. But he was showing me some interesting stuff about like how they want to influence our policy, and then how they are also influenced by pharmaceutical companies. So let's say with mask mandate, there's a very good likelihood, let's say, that they're pushing this mask thing. I mean, I can't imagine they're getting a cut on masks, but definitely on the vaccine side, they're like, they're in bad, and there's issues there. There's like too much undue influence from one to the other. Fine, fair enough. And what I was saying to him, but the big difference in our argument with big government or whatever is I was saying government's stupid, and people have been getting mad at me for saying this. They're saying I'm naive. They're like, I'm saying forgive them. They are incompetent. And then a lot of my friends are like, no, they're evil, and they're trying to control us, and they're trying to take everything. And that's where I've said it before. I'll say it again. There is no evil, only ignorance. So if they are, they're making a big mistake. And I mean, according to the Buddha, the only thing that'll make them give it back is a collective raising of loving kindness. But it's not a direct method like that. It's like not, I don't know what to do about it. That is a tough one. But tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think? World Economic Forum. What do you guys think? CB Applejack. Look it up. Many billionaires pay $0 in taxes a year. Yeah, that is true. But the thing is that $0 in taxes in a year, this is like, and this is my Patel showing here, but their employees are paying taxes. You know what happens with it when a company gets so hot and like just a ripper like Amazon, Elon Musk? What happens is you've kind of shown the society, and I know a lot of lefties are going to hate me for saying this, but you've basically shown the society that I'm an incredible manager. Like if there's something that the culture needs to get done, I'm actually the person that'll get it done. It'll be on time. It'll be on budget. That was one of the saddest things about the Donald Trump documentary is like in New York, the first episode, the Netflix one, and in New York, they're trying to build this skating rink, but it's taking them 9 years. They're just tied up in bureaucracy. Donald Trump starts ripping like in the media. He's like, I'll make the rink in 2 months. I'll make it. What are they doing? The government can't do anything. Stupid. Like this is one of his first hits. And he got that rink done. Yeah. Like quick, maybe a little abusive, maybe broke some union code violation, like whatever. But the skating rink was done and open for Christmas, and the people loved it. And this is a big issue with government, right? Like this is something that this guy was telling me yesterday, like just because he works in the government, I can't bring him on because he works in the government. And he's kind of explaining to me all the ways that bureaucracy unknowingly becomes evil. Like he's just talking to me about how his bureaucracy is doing things, everyone in their own self-interest. So whoever the highest person is in like, let's say some bureaucracy, they're looking at any bill and saying, okay, how can this get our department more money? Okay, do a write-up that convinces people to give us more money for this. Like that's what he was saying the whole thing is. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds so evil, but that's the kind of evil he was talking about. He was like, it's just, but I remember I was talking to a friend and he was saying that like once you start working somewhere, your ego, all the calculations are remade, and whatever you do is moral in your mind. So they're just coming to work every day and saying like, okay, well, we have to make sure our department meets that budget requirement and will increase by this much next year. So how do we do this? But if anyone brings up the idea that like, we didn't help the thing we were supposed to help, it's just like, why would you say that? No, don't put that. Why would you put that in the report? No. We're just going to tell them to give us more money. Like that's basically what he says working the government is. It's like bureaucrats telling the people under like, just, okay, write an essay about how we should get more money for this. Then you write they're applications, not essays, but they're essentially like essays. You get, okay, you write an essay about how we need $10 million for this. You write an essay, and the essay budget it's just constantly going through these different channels. He was saying that's what the bureaucracy is, not the elected officials. The elected officials, they're doing something else too, but everything that the elected officials want is filtered through this kind of mentality. So yeah, he had a big anyway, that's going back to the comment of like government's inefficient. I agree. Tony Dutemar says there is evil Amish, but unfortunately with this new scrolling system that I've developed, I don't know how I'm going to find it now because I read it. Okay, cool. Ho9 Productions, Genevieve Johnson. Oh, I'm not noble in the slightest. Pirate 100%. Don't let my dimples fool you. LOL. Hohenheim. Talking about his dimples. Let's watch it with the sex addiction. No, I'm joking. What's up, baby? How you doing? Didier Munyabaranzi. There's something to be said about capital allocation. Yup, Raziel the Great. WEF is only a problem because look who's invested in those movements. WEF? Oh, World Economic Forum. I don't see anyone who doesn't have a connected interest in ensuring economic domination over the masses. Yeah. This is the thing. This is the issue. And it was like a tight piece of propaganda, right? Did I see Applejack? You tried to troll? Excuse me, Yehuvi, don't start fights with people. You try to troll? If you don't sell your house and instead refinance it, why should you pay tax if you haven't sold your house? Is the same mechanics. You know, and this is why getting into little beefs on the comments. I mean, listen, it's sexy. It makes us sexy, right? Like it does lead to, I remember like some of the biggest episodes we had were like fight episodes, you know what I'm saying? But really you got to ask yourself, like, is this what we're doing? There is evil, Amish. Okay, cool. Got it. Found that one. Raziel the Great. Remember these people's motivation. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. No, like, honestly, it took him a good, like, 40 minutes to really convince me. And, like, I was like, okay, yeah, no, fine, fair enough. Tony Detienne coming in with the truth here with the God is great. Yes, of course, God is great. And listen, it's 12:11 right now. Wow. Oh, of course. Wow. Oh, we got a super chat shout out to our BabaJi. So obviously we're going to play that. The only problem is I can't get it. Oh, I put the window too high up. Here we go. We'll jam out for a second. This music is tight. There we go. Moralism can easily become discrimination. Interesting. I want to thank Roberta Blake for being rational. CB Applejack 59, $2. Yes, that is one thing that we always do get out of Roberto. That is good, you know, not too emotional, just like a true Guruji, like a true YouTube Guruji. Roberto Blake. And Roberto Blake, I feel like is going to be on the show in the next couple of weeks to talk about our analytics and really what our next moves are for the culture and for the community. So yeah, listen, thanks everyone for coming. I appreciate you. You are loved. We did a 2-hour, 12-minute rip. The dailies are doable. I think. I think every time, every day, there's been an efficiency increase in the process. And it would be almost silly and foolish not to do, like, almost, I gotta say, easier than doing a daily video. This daily rips, easier than doing a daily video. So it's almost like mathematically, I just gotta calculate it. Like today I planned probably 4 clips. I did like 2 of them. But I think as the weeks go on, you're gonna see a tightness emerge that will become like, oh, this is a ripper. And then like I'm just thinking more and more in the mind of like, what's this edit gonna be? You know what I'm saying? So I can just feel the spiritual growth, and I can't do that without you. So thank you everyone for coming. You are loved. You have, as I've mentioned before, the unconditional love of the Buddha or Jesus or whoever you want to call it. Whoever you want to call it. Let me give a last shout out to everyone who is here. Roberto Blake, California and NYC real estate is insanity. Same with Toronto, dude. Toronto is like, yeah, like it's crazy prices. We're bringing a lot of immigrants, so there is a demand here, so it's driving that up. But yeah, Toronto's pretty bad too. But I feel like these real estate markets are set up to go wild like that, you know, in some ways, you know, like the low interest rates and stuff like that. But definitely something we need to do more real estate issues. Thursday real estate finance. If we do Wednesday hump and I actually get like topic Wednesday, then Thursday maybe we could do that. Also, we could do Thursday movie review because I do need to talk about Batman still, but it is 12:13. And God is great. And Sukhbir Singh says, bye-bye, BabaJi. Bye-bye, Sukhbir. Love you. Sukhbir, did you like the colitis talk? Listen, I think we made it relatable for everyone. So thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. Raziel the Great, Sukhbir Singh, Ahmed Nazmeem, Abu Hassan. Wow, dude. Thanks for the stream. Ahmed, thank you. As always, Roberto Blake was here yesterday. Thanks for coming. Natasha Razor always has these rippers. Nevada real estate is becoming insane also. Okay. Jenny V. Johnson, thank you for coming. Yeah, we got to do a real estate day. Because really, my whole origin story with Steven Coffeezilla is I took the Trump real estate class. So really, I could almost put that in the branding of it. Like Thursdays, we're talking about real estate, put it in the thing. I'm a certified Trump real estate professional. with the Trump organization, did the first class. So come in, and we could even have call-ins on that because the real estate scams are pretty tight too. Like if you watch Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix, the real estate, the third guy, the lawyer real estate guy, that's got to be the worst one. So I think we got crazy, like we'll have a lot of call-ins for that. I think a lot of real estate nightmares out there, a lot of real estate scams we can talk about. And we can just talk about what's going on in the general market. And maybe we can do that on Thursdays. But honestly, today's Wednesday, and I don't even know if tomorrow we're going to do a rip. To be honest, I got to be honest with you guys, because I do have to go to the United States. I got to go stateside. And I'm going stateside, but this has been a powerful 2.5 weeks of live streams. And again, I just want to thank you all for coming, being here, supporting the community, supporting the culture. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you tell your friends. And yeah, look into the comments. And in the shorts, I'm going to be putting up shorts and comments in the next couple of days. That'll give you the announcements. It'll give you all the information you need to know. And again, thanks for coming. God is great. You are loved. Nai Hawak, CB Applejack, Raziel the Great, Mac 23806, Leg, Fern, Genevieve Johnson, Tony Dente, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved. Didier Mignon Berneranzi, you are loved. Papao, you are loved. Dale, you are loved. Dale YouTube Boss, you are loved. CB Applejack, you are loved. This is like what if you go to a Hindu thing, they do this and they splash water on you. Tony Soprano, you are loved. DJ Dumlow, you are loved. DJ Dumlow coming on the show and everything. Let's give him a praise God. Praise God. Praise God. For all of you in here in the culture, in the community, give yourselves. What a ripper. You did good. 2 hours? Who can do it? Who has the stamina? Nobody in the community has the stamina. I can do it daily, no problem. You get these every day. But only with your grace, with our Gurujis, Roberto Blake, and the whole congregation. So thank you so much for coming. You are loved. And